has come to our family. You remember our venerable house, opulent and imperial, gazing proudly from its stoic perch above the moor. I lived all my years in that ancient rumor-shadowed manor, fattened by decadence and luxury, and yet I began to tire of conventional extravagance. Singular unsettling tales suggested the mansion itself was a gateway to some fabulous and unnameable power. With relic and ritual, I bent every effort towards the excavation and recovery of those long-buried secrets, exhausting what remained of our family fortune on swarthy workmen and sturdy shovels. At last, the salt-soaked crags beneath the lowest foundations, we unearthed that damnable portal of antediluvian evil. Our every step unsettled the ancient earth, but we were in a realm of death and madness. Again, I alone fled, laughing and wailing through those blackened arcades of antiquity, until consciousness failed me. You remember our venerable house, opulent and imperial? It is a festering abomination. I beg you, return home, claim your birthright, and deliver our family from the ravenous clutching shadows of the darkest dungeon.
And we're live! Hello, and welcome back to the INVICTUS stream! That's right, my name is always Mr. Harlan Guthrie, and I am here with my very best friend, Mr. Justin Thomas James. Mr. Chris Viseau.
Hello, everyone.
You don't get a round of applause. David! Let's go back to Chris because the applause wasn't working. And my brother, the leper, Mr. Alex. That's right. We are back on this Wednesday night with a brand new one-shot adventure that my boy Justin here concocted up from the video game called Darkest Dungeon. Let's see if we can break the number of times that we do a round of applause. Thank you so much for being with us. This is Wednesday night. We love doing this. This is every Wednesday night we run a role-playing game. Sometimes they're new one-shot adventures. Sometimes they're part of a campaign that we run. And tonight we wanted to do something a little different, inspired by a game that we passionately love by Red Hook Studios. Now, a little bit of disclaimer before we do go into it. We're going to try as close as possible to get this to the original polished product that it can be. But ultimately, our role-playing naivety and sort of the way that we run games is probably going to get a little bit off course from what you have played in the game. So be patient, be kind, and have fun while we go on this crazy, monstrous adventure. Is that fair to say, Justin, that it might be a little bit wacky?
Yeah, there might be a few monsters. It might be a little wacky. It might be a little, slapped together, but we will see. Who knows?
There will be lots. If you played the game, or if you haven't played the game, I should say, check it out. In the video description, there is the link to the Steam page. It is fantastic. It is a difficult as fuck game, I must say. It is probably one of the hardest games I've played. I frankly got frustrated with many times, but it is a fantastic game. So you can go ahead and check that out. But anyway, welcome back. We are the INVICTUS stream. We are, of course, 18 plus. You might have noticed that because I already said fuck. But it's always important to get the 18 plus warning after you say swear words. Why is that, Alex?
Because we fucking swear a lot.
That's right. We're Canadian. As you know, Canadians swear a lot. That's just statistically proven. So if you don't like that, we understand. You can close the video. You can leave this. But before you close the video, you make sure you like it. That's right. We have 42 people watching right now and 22 likes. The math is not in our favor right now. So please, if you are watching, go ahead and like it. We don't put ads on this shit. We just do this for fun. So your likes do give us sexual potency. Is potency the right word? I think so. Makes us feel better.
Sexual.
We're adequate.
Yeah. Also, if you like this or if it's something you end up enjoying, then share this video and subscribe and all that kind of Fantastic baloney. Look at that. Shot up from 22 to 34 in a second. 38. Woo. Look at this. We're live, ladies and gentlemen. PBS Pledge Drive. We're at 38. We're almost there. As you know, if you're watching this, you are hopefully part of our Facebook group. When you're part of the Facebook group, we reward you for watching, and you can spend XP to influence the way that the game is going to be played. I'm going to throw it to Justin in a few seconds to tell you how you can spend XP tonight to affect the way Darkest Dungeon is played. That's right. You don't just get to sit and watch us. You get to sort of change elements and benefit us and give us bonuses and sometimes hinder us. So that's your call, and he'll explain that in a second. But you get that by joining the Facebook group and sort of participating along in little games that we hold throughout our live streams. The first way is by winning the MVP, and the MVP is the most valuable post. It's the post on the Facebook group that basically was the most interesting, the most informative, the best story. Whatever happened during the week, MVP is rewarded to the person that we felt most deserving, who kind of kept the community afloat, so to speak. And I'm going to reward that in a second. The other two ways are the mid-game post and the end-game post. And the mid-game, we stop the action halfway through the 3-hour stream, and we ask a question based on the game to see how well you've been paying attention. It could be as simple as, what was the name of the town we entered? Or it could be as difficult as, what was the combination on the lock that I was thinking? So that's a tough one. Sometimes that's just a guess, but that's the way we roll. We like to be very, very tough, much like Darkest Dungeon, the video game. And finally, the endgame XP, we reward to the person who, throughout the stream, either in the YouTube chat or on the Facebook group, was sort of the most helpful, just kind of gave suggestions and ideas and stuff like that. And that's how we want to involve you guys, because frankly, we love playing, but we love interacting with you guys a lot too. So watch for that. Now, going back to what I said 2 hours ago, MVP is something we award to the Facebook group member who posted during the week with the most interesting post. And this week, I'm very proud to announce the winner. Miss Brianna Agnew-Weber. That's right. Brianna had a fantastic post this week about, it was very complimentary, first off, which I always love, but it was also asking a really important question. I mean, not important, but important to me, how everyone was introduced to our stream. And hopefully a lot of you tonight, that'll be the answer to that question that you joined tonight. But it was nice hearing about where people first found us, where they may have heard us through the grapevine, as Justin would sing about. So it's always nice to kind of find where you guys came from and what attracted you to us, much like any relationship. So well done, Brianna. You win most valuable post. Coveted doorbell prize. So that's the MVP. The other two are going to be done in game. And without wasting any more time, I'm going to throw it to Justin to tell us how you can spend experience points tonight to hey, our venerable hosts. What's the word you used in the intro?
Venerable house.
My apologies. Justin, show us what we got.
All right, thank you very much, Harlan. So this game is going to be a little bit differently. I'm trying to model it off of the actual game, Darkest Dungeon. And if you've played that game before, you'd know that you basically have a base of operations, and then your heroes will go out on excursions into the dungeon. They'll gather their loot, and then they'll come back and then, give you money. So that's what we're trying to go for. So you're going to be able to spend experience points in those breaks between the dungeons before we send out these 4 lovely mercenaries below. To start the game, we're going to do a little bit of an intro, but we'll get to the base of operations in a little bit, maybe halfway through the first half of this show, the first quarter of the show. But there are 3 ways to spend experience points when you are at base camp. The first is to inspire your heroes, and that costs 1 experience point. So this essentially will pep talk your heroes and give them the opportunity, if they see something really, really stressful when they're in the dungeons, they'll be able to remember your words of wisdom, and they'll be able to shrug it off without taking any stress damage. Next, we've got Scout Ahead. There's a number of different things that the heroes might be finding in the dungeons, but they have to pay for provisions. Unfortunately, that's just the way it works, because, hey, they just got to pay for it. Life's not free. Life ain't free, and expeditions aren't free. So they got to pay for that stuff. But scouting ahead, not only will you be able to find out what items might be in that location, what objects they might need, but you also might discover what creatures lay in waiting. But be careful, because if you send a scout, there is a chance, we're going to be rolling, there is a chance that your scout might not return. Nice.
Did I time that well?
Point. You did. You're on point, Harlan. Thank you. Lastly, and this is my personal favorite, is the hand in the coffer option. So every time the heroes come back, they get pretty much 50% of the gold. The gold is going to be split between them, but the other half is going to go into the master's coffer. Now, if you have the experience points, you can take out 10 coins by spending 2 experience, and that is going to allow you to spend those coins on the heroes. Now, to start, we're not going to have too many options for you to spend your coin on them, because quite frankly, the hamlet that you guys are going to go to, the base of operations, is full of monsters, and we need your heroes to clear them out. But once they do clear the monsters out, then you'll be able to spend your coin. So if you want to put your hand in the coffer, take out 10 coin, that will be your coin. You'll be able to spend it as the master and do what you want with it.
The master of the house, so to speak, keeper of the keys.
Keeper of the keys, something, 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 and he's
I thought you would be all over that.
I forgot the words, okay? I'm sorry.
Now, just so you know, we are using the Dragon Age system, aka the Fantasy Age system, by Green Ronin Publishing, and we've sort of retrofitted it to incorporate a few of the game's mechanics, such as the stress meter, as well as hero skills, which in this case, Justin has sort of, again, retrofitted to work sort of as bonuses, whereas in the video game, they're just your regular attacks. But here we're using the Dragon Age system, which is 3d6s, the center which is always the power die, and on doubles you can stunt. Did we decide whether we want to do stunting? I think we could.
Yeah, I think we can do stunting.
Let's stunt all over this bitch.
It's basically just Dragon Age, and then you get special skills.
That's right. And did we decide Dragon Age was the best system for this? No, we just knew it the best. And that's how we roll.
Literally.
All right. Well, that is it for me. If you are watching this for the first time, please go ahead and join the Facebook group. You can check out what's going on there. You can hang out during the week and watch some of our older games, because we're cool guys. I like to think so. Also, you can see the Master How to Spend XP post that I just screenshotted and posted there, as well as the current XP that you own, to see what you would like to do. And then that way I can relate to Justin and sort of be the bada, although I might fudge the dice to be in my favor. So, no, if someone gave XP to benefit me. It rhymes, it's true. Anyway, that is enough from me. Without further ado, let's throw it back to Justin James for Darkest Dungeon.
You will arrive along the old road. It winds with a troubling serpent-like suggestion through the corrupted countryside, leading only to fear, to ever more tenebrous places. There is a sickness in the ancient pittened cobbles of the old road, and on its writhing path you'll face viciousness, violence, and perhaps other damnably transcendent terrors. So steel yourself. And remember, there can be no bravery without madness. The old road will take you to hell, but in that gaping abyss, we will find our redemption. The 4 of you received a letter. A letter from someone known only as the Master, a noble in the area, who recently came into the possession of an old family heirloom, the manor. A piece of property just on the east coast, somewhere through a deep, dark woods, that has long been abandoned. In the letter, he details that long ago, before the manor was passed down to him, his ancestors opened some sort of dark portal. And because of this, he plans to lead an expedition, not only to find valuables and treasures within the manor, which there are bound to be plenty, but also to vanquish of all of the foes that live within the manor. Now, each of you decided to join. Your rate would be 10% of whatever spoils you may find within it, each. And so this may seem meager, but quite frankly, did you really have another choice? You find yourselves sitting in a carriage, and there are 3 other men around you, and you are cramped. It is a small carriage, and made even smaller for the road that it is carrying you down is bumpy and stony, and every now and then you are thrown around and tossed into the person sitting next to you. It is dark, and looking around, there's only one window in the door. And you try to peer out, and you're only able to for a minute before the carriage bounces again and you knock your head. But in that split second, you're able to look around in the old road and catch a glimpse of a dark forest, of trees that stand leafless, their branches gnarled, looking like bony fingers stretching out towards you. And in between the trees, you're not sure if it's your imagination playing tricks on you, but the mist almost looks green, a strange, sickly oozing color as it pours towards you. But you think nothing of it as you bump your head, and you focus your attention back to the men in the carriage.
Something's not right about these trees out here. Something feels dark and distant about them.
Do you see the green mist?
I can't quite understand you, friend.
He says, do you fear the green mist?
No, not fear.
Good, dude. There's nothing to fear. The fates have nothing against us.
The fates
Maybe they
have
have nothing
nothing.
against you.
The fates have nothing against us, says the one man, trying to reassure his companions. Tell us, Chris, who is this man who is speaking of fate?
To the other men in the carriage, his name is Wolfgang, and that's all that they know. Very, very clean-cut gentleman, clean-shaven, and he wears leather gloves that you can hear creak as he stretches his fingers in the cart. His robes are immaculate, and he wears the garb of a holy man, but on top of that, he wears chainmail. So he's seen, which has seen some battle as well. Wolfgang is a Vestal, and he's motivated by the fact that he has the potential to rid the world of some evil and do his part as he feels called by his beliefs.
Wolfgang the Vestal. Carry on.
He looks at the other men and he's worried he's not in the right place. Gentlemen, why are you all here? I know my purpose. My purpose is here to rid the world of evil and protect the good. And I know that you are all good men. I can feel that. But there's a darkness in this carriage, and I worry about what I'm getting myself into. Why have you all come?
Sort of looking down, I pull a slip of paper out of my jacket pocket, which reads what I would imagine is similar to theirs. This letter sent to me about the manor on the hill. It's under attack, and I'm looking for part of the spoils when it's rid of its evil.
I'm looking for part of the spoils when it's rid of its evil, the man says as he hesitantly tucks the letter back into his coat. Harlan, who is this man who speaks so timidly?
Kessler Collins is a timid man from the city. He is thin, gaunt, scars deep in his face that don't quite come with how he appears. Something lies within him, something he's ashamed of, something he tries his very best to hide. Deep down, Kessler Collins is an abomination. Much like a sickness, it infects his blood. Eldritch in origin, it seeps through his very veins, something he's forever in regret of. And he knows that deep within, when it is unsettled, the abomination will come out and strike those who stand against him. But Kessler comes today for an answer, a cure to his abomination, to his affliction. He believes that perhaps the evil deep within the manor may hold an answer to his affliction, and if not, the money that he might get through solving it may aid him somehow. He's looking for a cure.
Kessler, the abomination. Carry on.
I don't necessarily think there's much to it, but I don't have much. The city I come from is vacant and empty. I don't really have anywhere else to go. And I kind of look down and look out the window.
And as he addresses me and answers kind of the question that I asked, I say, well, we all need to make a living, and it is a noble cause that we are venturing, so good to meet you, Kessler.
Yes, noble. And I stick out a hand and sort of shake it, and I look towards David's character, who's also been relatively quiet. You haven't spoken much this ride yet. What's your story?
Well, I'm not much the loud type. I come from a small village that is mostly made up of people like me, people who perfect the art of the crossbow. We each take our crossbows and venture out onto different conquests and adventures, so that we might bring back some of the spoils, as you had mentioned, back to our kinfolk. It's my only motivation.
Back to our kinfolk. David, who is this man who speaks of family, of connection, and of battle with crossbow?
The name is simply Regan.
Regan the Arbalest. Carry on.
I reach my hand over to Regan to shake it. And how are your hands clean, Regan?
Oh yes, immaculate.
Okay, so then I shake his hand. I look him in the eye and say, well met, Regan. We shall venture together, and I think we'll be safe for it.
I grip his handshake firmly, and I look him right in the eye, believing every word he says.
And who might you be? One who wears a mask.
The carriage bumps suddenly as it goes over another log, and you hear the voice of the driver shout back to us through a screen. Sorry about that. We're almost there. We'll get there in about an hour or so. Just sit tight. It's a bit of a bumpy road.
No problem, good sir. I'm sure you are doing your best.
It's I am Targul.
Targul, that is an interesting name.
You look at my hands and you see their gray skin, moldy. Some weird fungus covers everywhere. On my face, I wear a bronze mask covering you don't know what. All you see are beady white eyes.
A man.
Sorry.
A man whose skin is gray and covered in what looks to be mold, and a mask of bronze. Who is this masked individual, Alex?
I am Targul.
And what brings Targul on this venture? Sorry, Targul, I keep on interrupting you.
It's okay. I used to be handsome, youthful, charismatic.
I slide my feet back as a yellow wad of flesh hits the floor by my feet.
Sorry, that was my nose.
Let's move my crossbow out of the way. my nicely polished crossbow just as far away as possible.
But now I am diseased. Children cry simply in my presence. Women don't talk to me. Men shudder, often turn away.
Targul, the leper. Carry on.
Targul, this world is a cruel one, but there is a place for everyone. Well met, sir. If you do not mind, I would like to bless our journey now to make sure that it's a fortuitous one.
You are very kind, stranger.
Sure.
You
I
can
think a
bless.
blessing could be good for us.
Well, I strongly do. Bow your heads if you are in the manner of belief. And I lower my head and I say, may we be protected. May our journey be one where we rid evil and act justly. May our death come when it is of the most necessary, and we will be waiting ready for your light to shine upon us. Thank you. And I bless the group.
And I pretend that I was bowing as well, even though I only did it and then turned away.
And as soon as he said thank you, the cart is veered over to the left, and you're all tossed to one side. It veers again to the right. You can hear the horses whinnying and neighing outside as the cart picks up speed, going over the cobblestone road, bouncing up and down. And
The Fates have a sense of humor.
all of a sudden, you hear a snap and the sound of hooves galloping into the distance. And the cart
What was that?
slowly creaks to a stop.
Driver! And I bang on the roof. Driver!
I fear we have lost our driver. And possibly the horse.
And I
Perhaps
step,
he's harmed.
yeah, and I step out of the carriage onto the murky, damp, muddy road.
And looking around, the mist, the green mist, doesn't look so green out here, and yet you still feel a sickly feeling just being here. And you are certain that you are being watched.
Something's not right. And I look towards the driver. Is he still there?
He is still there. His head is lulled over to one side. And as you round him, you see sitting atop his bench, he is impaled with a dagger sticking out of his throat, a
Jesus
stream
Christ.
of blood steadily pulsing.
Kessler, what do you see out there? Is everything in the up and
No,
up?
the driver's been stabbed.
Stabbed.
And I
As soon as
turn
I hear
around
that,
and I
I
vomit
jump
on the
out.
road.
I should go and try to help the driver to see if I can set his wounds.
I take a step back and ready my crossbow.
Okay.
And at that
Sir,
as well,
And the leper?
the leper stands much taller than you would have believed and produces a large two-handed sword from behind and stands guard.
Okay. So, Wolfgang, you leap to the man's side. And what do you do?
I immediately check him for signs and I try to stop the bleeding as best I can. But I would notice right away if it's wasted effort.
The dagger has pierced and slashed clean through the jugular, and blood is pouring out.
I don't understand. We were driving. I don't understand how that could happen.
Everyone's time comes sooner or later, Kessel.
I want both the leper and the arbalest to do a perception check. It's seeing as well. So the way this works in Dragon Age is you roll whatever your attribute is, so in this case, perception, and then you add any bonuses that would apply. In this case, seeing would apply. So you would add +2 if you have the focus.
So just so I understand, I'm going to roll 3d6.
Yep.
And I have a 2 for perception and searching. So neither of those are counting.
You get the +2 for the attribute, but not for searching. Searching is more for investigating, looking
Right.
for something
Understood.
specifically. Yeah.
Right. And I have seeing and a perception of 3.
Okay. So you'll be adding +5 to your 3d6.
So I've got a combined of 11.
I've got a combined of 11.
Okay. Looking around,
Hardly.
you barely are able to make out, both of you, a man in between the mist, stepping out of the trees. He's hunched over, and he looks to be about your height, average height. And as the mist clears around him, you're able to see only the bottom half of his face, which his mouth is twisted into a sick grin.
I put up my crossbow and yell, "Who goes there?"
And the leper, you hear the arbalest beside you shout out, and it appears that he's looking at a different man than you are.
I exclaim under my breath, I hate these fuckers. There's another one over there. And I point to the one I see.
Brigands.
Who are you calling to? I don't understand. I don't see anyone.
You see them now too. As they step forward casually before you, you see 2 of them on the same side of the road as you're on. And the Vestal as well turns and sees that there are 2 more approaching from the other side.
Listen, we don't want any trouble. We're just trying to get to the manor.
Don't panic.
As they walk closer, I pull the dagger out of the throat of the dead man, the driver, and I clean it off on his robes. Does this belong to one of you?
As he says that, I confidently strut while swinging my sword in a roundabout motion.
The man closest to you speaks up. The wolf will eat you now, and lunges towards you. These are brigands, highwaymen seeking to take your spoils and gear. Do not let them. Dispatch of these vile fiends. Everyone roll for initiative.
Okay.
What is that, 3d6s again?
Yeah.
Is
3d6s.
everything 3d6s?
12. I'm 12 plus, what is it? Perception?
Your initiative. So it's initiative, which is a focus for dexterity.
We don't have our
your
dex bonus?
You add your dex bonus, plus if you have a focus, you get +2.
Perfect.
I got 9.
I got 16.
I got 18.
I got an 8, so I'm last.
I'm second last.
8 and
I'm second.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 10, I believe. Okay, perfect. So, who got 18?
Regan.
David. Or
Regan, the arbalest. You strike first.
The man lunging forward, I ready my crossbow and fire,
Okay.
aiming for the head.
Aiming. So you are aiming, which is a minor action. So you're going to get +2 because you have archery style. Lots of adding in this game. So go ahead and roll your regular crossbow attack.
Which is 3d6?
3d6, yeah.
66, so 14. Plus 2, you said?
+2 and plus your perception. Or sorry, dexterity. Dexterity, sorry.
That's my dexterity, which is a 3. So.
Right. So +5. So, no problem. Your bolt shoots cleanly through the air and sinks into him. Now, how much damage do you do? Go ahead and roll 2d6. +4 is what you're adding.
So 14?
14 points of damage. So, your bolt not only hits true, but it kills the man instantly. Describe how that happens.
I calmly lift my crossbow. Years of training behind the simple motion, and it just I let go of the bolt, and it sings through the air, knocks him right in the eye, and he just immediately collapses in front of the feet of.
And immediately the mist seems to enshroud him as the other men lunge forward. But first we have the abomination. What do you do?
Jesus Christ. So I watch him strike the guy in the head with an arrow, and he falls down. Jeez, we didn't want to fight. I turn around to the driver's position, and I grab a loose chain that would have connected the horses that were there to the cart, and I pull the chain loose, kind of using it as a manacle, as a weak weapon.
Okay.
And I'll turn to the guy closest to me. How far away is he roughly?
He's getting close. You can engage with him.
So I'll with my back up against the wall, I turn to him almost nervously and say, "No, the driver did nothing wrong," and I'll whip him with the chain.
Perfect.
So this is my manacle attack. Oh, doubles. Well, we'll see if I hit first. So 4, 5, 6 plus 4, so 10.
10 to hit. Unfortunately, the man sees the chain coming and is able to dodge underneath it.
Oh, actually, sorry, I was going to ask this too, and I forgot. Our hero skills, is it per encounter or per game?
It's per excursion. So right now you're technically on an excursion, so you could use it.
For argument's sake, can we say I used it?
Sure.
It was going to be an auto hit, deal half damage, which I honestly was going to do. I just didn't know if it was per excursion or what.
No problem, no problem. So your chain whips through the air and he ducks under it, but you swing it around again before he has time to react, and it clocks him right in the head.
Perfect. So then it's 1d6 plus 3 plus my dexterity, which is 4. So that's 4 and 4 is 8, 9, 10, 11 minus. I get rounded down or rounded up?
Round down.
Okay, so 5 and then 5 damage and a stun.
Okay.
We didn't want this. And I smack him on the head as the heavy iron clunks against him. And it doesn't cause any blood, but immediately he falls to his feet, just in the mud, slapping his face into the wet. And I take a step back, holding the chain sort of loosely.
And you can see him struggling to try to get up. But as he's doing that, the other two strike. The one that you taunted, Wolfgang, runs towards you and engages with you at the base of the man that died, and he tries to stick his dagger right into your foot. So he's going to roll to try to hit you there, Chris. Holy shnikes. So that's going to hit. And we're also using hero points, or not hero points, what are they called? Stunt points. So you are going to take,
200 stun points of damage. You're dead twice over.
You're going to take 8 points of damage.
Now,
Wow.
does my armor help at all?
Your armor takes away 5 points of damage.
Okay.
So you're taking 3.
I scream. Well, I don't scream. I grunt in pain. Ugh!
Real men scream. You can scream.
Not this man.
And the other one actually swings around to the far side of the carriage and swings at the leper. Leper, let's see. Holy smokes.
Oh my god.
Wow. So you are going to also take 8 points of damage.
He's not using stun points. Don't worry.
8?
I am, but I'm doing it a little differently for them for
Good.
expediency. 8 points of damage to the leper. But again, you have light mail, Mr. Leper, so you actually only take 3 points of damage.
So I'm putting that on my stress level?
No, that is your hit points. So you start out with
34.
34 hit points. Yeah.
Okay, so now that's 3. All right, gotcha.
Yeah. So you're down to 31. Now we are on to who rolled 9.
That would have been.
Okay, go ahead.
I can see you had another dagger. Ugh. And as soon as he does that, I say, "You will be judged." And I look him straight in the eye. Now, Justin, how long is an expedition? Is that like a 3-hour game? Are we talking, or is that like
Expedition or excursion? No, it's actually pretty set. Basically, every time you get back to base camp, it resets.
okay?
So you haven't reached base camp yet, but
Yes. Okay,
This
so I
is
look
your
him in the eye
introductory
and
mission.
I say, son, there will come a time when you two will be judged. Will your soul stand up to that judgment? And I look him in the eye, and with that, I attack him with my belief, and I do 1d6 damage, my magic versus his defense.
Okay.
So here's my attack to see if his soul even reacts to my judgment. And then, so 11 plus my magic, which is 15 plus blood magic, if you allow it.
Or divine magic.
Yeah. So 18
so
total, actually, because of a blessing.
So it connects. You see him reel back as the workings of your maker smite him.
And he takes 10 points of magic damage, and I heal 3 hit points.
Okay.
So seeing the guilt right in his eyes, and you see the horror, that his realization that there's more to life than just this, and his life has not been one of a fruitful labor, and seeing the guilt that he realizes that his soul is in damnation. You guys have seen Ghost Rider or read Ghost Rider, right? You know, that kind of judgment kind of thing.
Well, we've seen Judge Dredd, which is a superior.
It's basically he starts feeling all the pain and suffering he's caused to other people, and most presently he's stabbing in my foot, and the feeling stabbing the coach driver, and he feels that.
And
I reach down.
How much damage do you say?
So 10 points of damage, depending if I get my blood magic advantage to my attack as well.
Okay, no, you don't, but he does reel back, and you can see him contorting in pain, and he falls to his knees. But in a split instant, he's back up, and he looks angrier than ever as he goes to lunge for you again.
But when he does that, I want to pull the dagger out of my foot because he heals, right? I healed because that's part of that.
Yes, you healed, yeah.
So I take the dagger out of my foot, and I said, do you have more of these?
And as you're doing that, we go to the leper who has just been attacked by one of these fiends.
So what did he hit me with? He did
a dagger. He's actually carrying 2 daggers, one in each hand, and he slashed you with one, and he looks like he's coming up with the other one.
Okay. So I take this damage to my leg, and what did you say, my knee?
That's perfect. Yes.
Okay. And being the leper that I am, I feel like it doesn't really bother me. I've already got shit falling off me, and I'm in constant pain already.
Yeah.
I look calm, collected, confident, with holding my large 2-handed sword. It's about 5 feet long.
Holy.
So I swing it around and take a swipe at him.
Go ahead.
In this menacing kind of, big metal-faced guy way.
Yes.
Technical term, a big metal-faced guy.
3, 1, 2. So that is just the roll.
Just a roll
6,
plus your strength.
Plus 3. So 9 plus heavy weapons.
Mm-hmm.
Which is a plus 2.
That's right.
So 11.
11 to hit. And a tie goes to the attacker. The metal-faced man takes his giant sword and swings it down upon his opponent. And how much damage do you do? What is the impact of your blade on this man's shoulder blade?
Let's take a look. It's a 6.
It's a 6 plus your strength, which makes it a 9.
9.
So the blade connects and it sinks into his skin, and he howls in pain and begins to laugh as he brings his dagger again to you. Now we go back to the top of the initiative order where we have the arbalest. The arbalest has his crossbow ready, but he has to reload it, so it's not actually quite ready. What do you do, arbalest?
Crossbow.
Yeah. The fierce, mighty crossbow of the
High
arbalest.
quality props.
Yeah. And I put the bolts in, and I just
Don't break that.
That poor coat hanger.
Don't break that. That will kill you.
I'm surprised you
No,
don't
we
have.
got-
David, you broke the best coat hanger.
That was from my favorite coat. Okay.
Stay focused, Arbalest. What do you
Sorry.
do?
I load it as quickly as possible, and I'm guessing I need to roll for that.
Nope, it's just a minor action to reload.
Okay.
So as long as you're not moving anywhere or aiming, you can reload
No, I prefer to stay in the same place.
it. Okay.
Stoic, even. Yeah. So I reload it, and is there anyone else advancing?
There is one who is attacking the leper right now, and one of them seems to be stunned on the ground. And there is another one still attacking the Vestal.
Who is in the most dire need of help?
Looks like the leper, possibly.
Okay. I aim towards the leper.
Because his
No,
arm is
sorry, not the leper, not the leper, not the leper.
No,
The-
not him.
do I have a clear shot?
You do. You do have a clear shot.
Okay, okay. Not at the leper, but at the other guy. Yeah. So I aim at the attacker on the leper.
All right, go ahead and roll.
Ooh.
Now you-
Yeah. Plus my dexterity or no?
plus your dexterity,
I haven't showed up. What do they say?
so it's +3. Yeah. What is the number on the die?
Oh, it didn't show up.
No, we don't see it.
Oh, I got a 1, 5, and 3. So I got an 8. Sorry, 9. It's
So 9 plus 3, that's a 12, and that is enough to hit it.
Okay.
And roll for damage.
Okay. 2d6.
Yes, 2d6 plus 4.
Okay. And I got a 6 and a 4, so 14.
Okay.
Nice.
14 points of damage. Your bolt flies through the air over the leper's shoulder and sinks into the skull of your second victim. The stoic Arbalest has a kill count of 2. Can you catch up? We're on to the abomination.
I step back, kind of reeling against the thing, watching the man, and I look at the chain in my hand and sort of drop it. Is there a large, like a massive rock next to me?
Yes, there is. There are many rocks that litter the road.
So can I use might to sort of crush him with it on his head rather than try to whip him with the stone?
Definitely.
And as I lean back, my past sort of rushes back to me. The beast transforms, and within me I can feel it bubbling, but I fight it down. I don't want them to see it. I don't want to see what's inside me yet. So, but I know that this man needs to die. And sort of with a calm, almost Mr. Hyde-like bubble beneath my surface, I look for a massive rock, and I walk over, and I'm going to roll might to see if I can lift it.
All right.
Oh, nice. So it's going to be 8, 9, 10 plus 4, so 14. Now,
Definitely.
because I'm using it as an attack, can I stun with that?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. So I lift the massive rock above my head. And without them looking, I kind of say, "You deserve this." And I drop it down onto his head. And with a crack, you can hear it land and just shift the plates in his skull. And I will do Mighty Blow for 2 points, which will inflict 1d6 extra damage.
Okay.
And I will do Pierce Armor for an additional 2. So I'm going to do a total of, well, what do you think a rock would be? Maybe 1d6?
We'll say 1d6 plus your might.
Okay, perfect. So we're going to do 2d6 plus my might, which is
Strength,
going to be 5 plus my strength, which is 9 points of damage. And it's piercing armor, so his armor is halved.
Perfect. So the rock crushes him, and all life is extinguished from him. As
And like the growl beneath my breath, I try to hide. This is not what we wanted. Back to the carriage, I swear. But I see the other two are still fighting, and I go to pick up my manacles again.
That's right. There is still one left attacking the Vestal, who is now ready to strike back.
I've had enough of these games. You will suffer for what you have done. And I reach and I pull out my Morning Star. It's just hanging from my belt. And I walk towards them to swing. Wham!
Perfect.
Can I aim? Is that a thing?
You may aim, yes.
I will
So you get a
aim.
+1. Now you're also blessed right now, so you'll also be getting a.
I'm not actually. My mistake. Bless is only one character, so it's actually going to be just Harlan.
I see.
I
Okay.
think he was the only one who was using it that time. So 2, 4. So 8 points plus bit dexterity. 12 plus 2 is 14.
That hits. Go ahead and roll your Morning Star damage.
Now I have a stun point, so I'll do double damage.
Perfect. Or stun point, you'll do 1d6 extra.
Is that? I'll
Mighty
say I can do that, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, you can.
Thank you. So 11 plus 3. Do I add my stat to that damage or no?
You do. You add your strength.
Okay. It's not dexterity because it is a dexterity weapon.
Oh, okay. Then it is your. Oh, it's a dexterity weapon?
Yeah,
Nice.
it's under stabs.
Oh, I see. Okay, then it would be your perception for damage.
Oh, interesting.
Mm-hmm.
So 11 plus 2. So 13 damage.
13 damage. All right. He's already taken 10 damage, so you decimate him. Describe it.
So the Morningstar, it's a fairly long weapon with very sharp-tipped points out of this massive metal ball at the end, and I swing it around as if it's a staff. I hit him in the head as the bones sink. You can feel the piercing aspect of it, but it also shatters the bones as it connects, and he spins and falls down dead. I hop off, and I shake the blood off. Pity.
Death surrounds you. Where do you go? What do you do? The foes are vanquished.
I checked the body next to me to see if there was anything under the rock, any gold or anything like that.
Yes, indeed. There is 20. Between all of the corpses, you are able to find 20 coin. Each one has 5.
I check his shoe. I check his shoe size, and I also check the shoe size of the horse carriage driver, and see if there's one that's the same size as my boot that's now been destroyed by the piercing dagger. And I replace my boot.
Unfortunately, there's the boots of the men that you vanquished aren't really boots. They're more like scraps of fur tied together. However, Mr. Darcy, your driver, did have a similar shoe side to you.
I always knew you were giving man Darcy, and you've taken good care of these, and I will do so in the future. I switched my shoes for his.
And I look towards where the carriage was heading. Do I see the manor in the distance?
You cannot see the manor, but you hear the sound of waves crashing against a shore. Faint, but you must be close, maybe only about a 30-minute walk away.
I think down the road the manor is up ahead. There's nothing here for us. I suggest we press on.
You look at the leper and watch him as he crouches down to wipe the blood off his blade. He barely makes it down and back up again and looks at you and says, "Let's go."
Leper, you are a formidable foe. I'm glad that for now we're on the same side.
And the arbalest watches as the other 3 begin to make their way towards the hamlet.
And I lead the way with my torch. Oh, my apologies. Sorry, arbalest.
I was just gonna ask. Did you get all the gold from all of the guys, or did we?
And I gave 5. No, I gave. So there was 20 gold amongst them, and I gave everyone 5. And actually, I take that manacle, those chains, those heavy chains, and I throw them on my shoulder to carry. And as I'm walking by the arbalest, I say, "Not the first time I'd had to wear chains." And I take the lead with the torch.
And I take the coins that he's given me, and I put them in like just this little coin purse, basically, that I have on my side, and I kind of put together my crossbow, and I walk behind all of them as we head off to the hamlet.
So the 4 of you walk through the mist, and you know that when you get to the hamlet, you are supposed to meet with a man named Higgins. Higgins is the man who wrote that letter to all of you, and he seems like a charming man, pleasant enough. He is the liaison to the master, so to speak, and you are going to be doing your dealings with him. And as you walk and remember this, you have an opportunity to chat.
You did great work back there, Wolfgang. I thought for sure we were goners, but you and the leper carried your weight well.
Evil takes shape in many forms in this land, and sometimes that's the form of a man. And I look into Kessel's eyes a little bit deeper.
Yes.
I would say the same for you, although it looked like you were fighting more than the enemy back there.
You speak to Wolfgang or myself?
No, I'm talking to you.
No, I have my past, but that is it. I abhor violence, and if I can avoid it, I do at all costs.
Well, whatever our past is, as long as we're walking the good direction now.
It's admirable.
I wouldn't go that far. I do what needs to be done. And I turn to the arbalist. But I think amongst all of us, you carried yourself perhaps the best, arbalist. You killed 2 of those men, if I do decide to call them men. What were they, anyway?
I don't know. I just needed to shoot them.
Well, I appreciate the candor, but perhaps a little more research could be beneficial to us. If we're to retake the manor, perhaps there are more of these types of creatures. What did they look like?
They looked like men. They were men. As far as your vague autopsy went after the fact, they were definitely men. But their skin was darkened as if with soot. And even in death, they had a sick, twisted smile on their faces. They were covered in animal furs. And you can only assume that they were highwaymen, or brigands. However, you've seen those before. You've encountered brigands in the local brothels and taverns, and none of them seemed quite this insidious.
Something about those men were not average highwaymen. They seemed ravenous, almost rabid, like dogs.
Yes, I had no sympathy for them in any way, and usually I do.
I think it's important, and I believe Wolfgang would agree, that sympathy, even against the most foul enemies, is always important. And I say this as I think back to the taste of fresh blood and flesh in my mouth from just a few weeks prior, and I almost salivate at the thought of eating more human flesh. But I swallow hard and turn to Wolfgang. You'd agree, yes?
I'm sorry, I was lost in thought. Repeat yourself.
The divine requires sympathy at all times, even for those who need it most.
We offer sympathy, but it is up to them to take it. In this situation, I offered it to those men, and they refused, still forcing my hand to rid them of this world.
But do you not think, no matter how many mistakes they may have made, there is still a chance of redemption for even the most vile creatures?
There is always a chance of redemption. We must remember that.
I like to think so too, but
we can all be redeemed. The
leper
can be redeemed.
Don't know if I can be that idealistic, to be honest.
What have you done, son, that you feel this way? Confide in me, and I shall help you.
I believe my candor has taken me away, for I'm much older than I appear. I believe you're at least 10 years younger than me, unless you carry yourself like an older man.
No, perhaps you do age well, and I see in his eyes a certain wisdom that would not be fitting of a younger man.
No. I think it's just along the next crest. Let's push on. The mist gives me chills, and I walk up ahead.
Conversation sends the time flying away, and before you know it, you step into a clearing. A clearing that at first seems to be shrouded in mist, but as you continue to walk and the mist fades away, the sound of waves crashing against the shore, now stronger than ever, you begin to see images. And you also begin to hear men grunting and shouting orders at each other, and the sound of movement, boxes being shifted and lifted and placed. And eventually you can see it. The hamlet, before which, in the clearing not far ahead of you, there are 3 coaches. 2 of which seem to be like the coach that you came on, One of them is filled and loaded with crates, and men are taking these crates off and handing them to one another in a bit of a supply line. The third coach, however, is much different. It's very ornate, beautiful, black obsidian wood, glistening in the setting sunlight. And as you gaze upon this coach, you see a man standing in front of it. A man who's dressed very nicely in a vest and a bow tie with half-moon glasses as he peers down over a desk that he's set up and has papers that he's shuffling around.
No man I have ever met looked more like a Higgins than that man does. This man is who created the name Higgins. It was developed for a man of this stature. And I walk up to him and I hand him nervously my letter. I believe you're the one to read this.
He takes it without looking up. He says, "Ah, Mr. Kessler?
Collins, actually. Kessler is my given name.
Ah, well, is it all right if I call you Kessler then?"
Please.
Well, Kessler. Actually, you know what? That doesn't sound very befitting of a Higgins. I think I am going to call you Mr. Collins, but try to remember.
You understand?
How was your trip in? Oh, the others are here with you, right?
Yes, they are. And I kind of slink off to the side of the thing, not wanting to be the center of attention.
And the man stands up and he shakes hands with everyone and says, "Oh my goodness, thank you so much for responding to my letter. I'm so pleased that you were able to make it, and the master is beyond thrilled."
How is he with the leper?
Totally fine. Totally fine. He seems a little bit hesitant to shake the man's hand, but he
grabs it in the glove with a soft squish.
As a finger falls off.
There goes half my hand.
Yeah, Higgins does put on a glove first and say, "Ah, yes, and of course you must be, what was your name? Targul? Targul. Yes, I'm glad you could make it, and everyone else too. Tell me, why are you arriving on foot? What happened to your coach? And Mr. Darcy, my dear old friend, Mr. Darcy."
Old friend is an accurate statement. And I
What
again
is Mr.
slink
Darcy
off.
from? Isn't that like Pride and Prejudice?
Yeah, he is.
Mr. Darcy's dead. Many women will be disappointed.
Sad. My wife.
Ladies.
We walked here because our driver lost his horse, and, well, he lost his head as well.
Oh dear. Oh, that, what a shock. Mr. Darcy, who did this? What happened to them?
Let us not worry. Retribution was dealt.
Ah,
Yes, it's as good as
yes.
ours.
You must be Wolfgang, he says as he turns to the Vestal.
Many blessings.
And likewise, a man of the faith, yes?
Yes, absolutely.
I was very much hoping that you would join us. A place such as this requires a little bit of faith and belief, don't you think?
Presence is felt here that there's much faith to be awoken, yes.
Indeed. And, of course, the soldier, the skilled crossbowman, correct?
Yes, correct.
Very pleased to meet you, Regis.
I simply just put out my hand and
I believe his name is Regan, sir. And Regis is someone else I'm not quite familiar with.
Is it Regan?
it's Regan.
least-
Yes.
That's how he
Oh.
introduced himself to us.
Okay. When I heard about you, I just immediately took it to Regis.
Well, he did have a talk show at one point
Yeah.
He did. You did. Oh, well.
And
Okay.
another game show as well.
with a catty League gift, Todd.
And of course, this is you've all introduced yourselves.
Yes, we've met on the road.
To each other? Of course.
Wonderful. Then let us get down to business, he says as he sits on a crate behind his little desk. Please, sit anywhere, he says, gesturing to nowhere to sit.
I think I'll stand.
Good idea. Pretty mucky ground here. Now, the master, unfortunately, is unable to meet with you. They are, well, rather busy working out all of the preparations and signing all of the papers with all of the carpenters that we have here, the blacksmith, yada, yada, yada. You know how it goes. But whatever, I'm not even sure what to call the master. They have decided that... take a look over here. This is the best way to explain it. And he gestures over to the hamlet. And the hamlet is composed of a bunch of old Victorian buildings that look pretty run down, but they're still standing. Even after decades of neglect, they're still standing, even though the roofs might be fallen in or whatever. And there are a number of different buildings. And just so you have a picture, the hamlet is set on the edge of a cliff that looks over the eastern coast to the ocean. But then also, atop a hill at the far end of the hamlet is what you can only assume to be the manor, a large castle-like place that looks, as you imagine, is bigger than it appears. And he gestures back to the hamlet and says, "This is the hamlet. We haven't come up with a name for it yet, but needless to say, when the master's ancestors lived here," yes, there we go, that is the hamlet. When the ancestors lived here, it was fully functional, as you'd imagine any regular hamlet would be. There was a tavern, and he gestures to the building over to the left. There was a abbey. He gestures to the church in the back. There's a sanitarium, right? That's the sanitarium, I believe, in the middle with the blue windows. There was a guild, and that's the tower building that you see there. And there was a blacksmith in the far right. Now, the master has gone through the trouble of hiring people to house these hamlet buildings and to bring it back up to functional status. He says, and he waits for anybody to comment or...
I think that's probably a good idea. Ultimately, to try to make this place a thriving environment, you need these buildings and functionality.
Exactly. They need to be functional so that the master can, well, actually more so that you are better able to go on expeditions and retrieve all of the items that the master would like. Now...
all in the honor of the creator, I'm sure.
Yes, of course. The creator
What happens
is always
here?
in my thoughts. Well, that is a good question, and hopefully one that you will be able to figure out. But we'll save that answer for another day. Today, we have one task for you. And the master has looked at all of the buildings in the hamlet, and we've decided that we are going to refurbish the guild. The guild was a place that was once home to many adventurers, just like yourselves, heroes, brilliant warriors that would train there and develop their skills. Unfortunately, it seems to be rather not only run down, but creatures have decided to inhabit it. Now, I'm not sure what creatures there are, and quite frankly, I do not want to go anywhere near that place. But the master has decided that as your first task, you will clear out the guild of any hostiles that may have decided to call it their home.
Hold on, Higgins. I was under the understanding that this piece of paper gave us 10% of the spoils of the manor, not that we were mercenaries to be clearing out buildings and dungeons and things.
Oh, well, I'm sorry if in my language I didn't make it quite clear enough. That is precisely what you've been hired for. You are mercenaries, after all, and you are privy to the whims of the master. Now, I apologize for the miscommunication, but the master will need you to have this done. Is that clear, Kessel?
Kessler is the name, and I say it to him with sharp eyes. Kessler, not Kessel.
Let me field this
I
one.
think it is clear now.
These men and myself are not common mercenaries. I've seen them defend themselves on the road, and they are quite capable men. Perhaps the vermin can be taken out with common mercenaries, and we can be suited more to a task of our capability.
I can't imagine What kind of vermin would require mercenaries? Are we talking
Big rats?
raccoons? Rats?
Gophers?
Not
Osprey?
exactly. I'm not sure. It does seem that local brigands have taken up residence in the guild. And that's what I've understood. Now, the reason that we've called on you and not ordinary mercenaries, Wolfgang, is because these aren't ordinary foes. You say you ran into some enemies on the road, correct?
Yes.
Well, anything in this area that has resided here long enough has been subject to a certain affliction. The darkness seeps out of the manor, and anything that has been in this area has been touched by that darkness. Now, you're likely to find more hideous beasts when you do enter the manor itself, and I do not even want to begin to fathom the horrors that you will see once you enter that place. But for now, we have a little bit of cleanup to do. It should be no task that is undoable by men such as you. Am I correct in saying so?
I'm not your fucking busboy.
And I turn around.
And I say, will we be paid incrementally?
That is a good question. Now, 10%, I want to make something clear. You are each receiving 10%, which is more than any of the other staff that we have on here. 50% is going to the master, yes. However, how the master spends that money, well, that depends on a number of different things. What the expedition needs, that is where that money is going. And to be perfectly honest, the master isn't the type of person who simply wants to sit on their coin and hoard it to themselves. No, they are going to spend that money on the expedition to ensure that the expedition is successful, and, he says, turning to Wolfgang, as a main goal, ensuring that all of the darkness here is vanquished. So the money that goes to the master, though it may seem like a lot, 50% is going to paying the blacksmith, is going to paying the upkeep on certain buildings, is going to paying the tavern. If you would like someone to be here to man the tavern, then he's going to be paying to get it up.
Why
And
can't we meet this
thriving.
master?
It is good to tithe. Tithing is a good thing. We should not just be given money without giving something back, gentlemen. I think it'll be good for us.
That is your opinion and you're entitled to it. I can't say as I agree. Why can't we meet the master?
Because, quite frankly, the master is a person shrouded in mystery. I myself have never actually met the master, though I did travel in the master's cart to get here. And the master, I assure you, does exist.
Have you ever been paid by him?
Oh, of course, of course. And I would not even be so quick to say him. The master's gender is a mystery just as much as their true intention.
So for all intents and purposes, we're working for you for the time being.
I am simply a messenger. The master does speak to me through letters. They do communicate, but I, again, am just the messenger. I'm just telling you what the master has told me to tell you. And I have the master's best interest at heart.
Very well. Well, I have nothing else. I suppose this is what needs to be done. This is what we shall do. At least I'm in.
Wow.
Wonderful. So, to start things off, I'm going to give you 10 gold coins for the group. So he hands out 10 coin. And he says, over there, by that carriage, is the provisioner. Now, this is money from the master that is going straight to you guys to determine what you will need on your trip. Depending on where you're going, you might require different things. However, you can spend it, however you like.
10 each or 10 like together?
10.
Okay.
But before you go on your expedition, is there anything else you would like to know? Any questions?
I think
Or
if
have-
you are looking to use us to complete these tasks, I think a bit of camaraderie between you and us would be most welcome. Perhaps a kindful worded request would go a lot easier than the attitude. And I'll take the 10 coins and I walk towards the to the quartermaster or whoever you said it was. Sort of snatch him.
He nods to you. He nods to you, and as you turn away, he turns to Wolfgang and says, and the arbalist who's also there, and says, well, he may have a point, and I do apologize if I've come off as cross or eager. It seems that staying in this place is playing with my emotions slightly, so I do apologize if that's come through.
No offense taken. It is hard. We are like ambers. When we are separated from the fire, we cool, but we need to regenerate in the comfort and the warmth of others. I understand. I will talk to Kessler. He'll come around. He's a good man and he's struggling with a lot, I can tell.
I thank you, Wolfgang. And Master Arbalest, is there anything from you?
No, I just want to make sure that this project isn't in vain. I don't want to be killing people just to be thrown away after.
Is there a chance that we could bring them back to the faith rather than kill them, as the Arbalest put it?
You can try. You can do anything you like. The master would simply like the guild to be cleared.
Because I assure you, the Arbalest can kill them. He's more than capable.
You said it was mercenaries, or not mercenaries, but like, what did you say was in the guild?
Bandits.
Bandits, okay.
Bandits. Brigands.
Brigands.
Mm-hmm. And I leave. I say, I should get my work underway. And I walk towards Kessler.
And I'm Kessler, and I'm at the quartermaster, whatever, kind of holding the 10 coin, looking at what he has.
Here you go. So here's the provisioner's stock. This is what I got. It's not much right now. Maybe there'll be more in the future, but this should be everything that you need for your spelunking.
Is the guild underground? If I misunderstood something.
No. Guild's right over there, and he points at the tallest building that looks to have held up pretty well.
Maybe I misunderstood what spelunking means.
Oh, well, I'm just a provisioner.
I shouldn't be using those words.
No. Right, it's all right.
I wander over from where I was standing before, just being a bit of a stick in the mud. My mood hasn't changed, but I realize that we got to do this, so I might as well just do it.
Well, seeing your frustration, I walk over to the leper.
What do you want, holy man?
Dagul, you're very skilled. I know you're suffering a great deal, but I think we require your sword. It may be beneath you, but if you could find in yourself as charity to help myself and maybe Kessel and the Arbalest as well to be successful, at least at the start. Perhaps we will face something that is to your caliber.
I'm not a wholly selfish person. I simply have no... I said I'm not a wholly selfish person. I simply have no patience for those who attempt to waste my time. I only have so much left on this planet. I'll come with you. I'm sorry for acting the way I was earlier.
Don't rush it.
While they're talking, I'm going to take the 5 gold that I have from the previous encounter, and I'm going to buy for myself secretly anti-venom.
Okay.
Not using the.
And that's
3 gold.
Tell us about the gold from the other people.
No, you each have 5 from him. I'm just buying this secretly for myself.
Okay.
I can't tell if Dave is just staring or, or he's frozen.
Oh no, he's doing it. He's frozen.
Oh yeah.
That would be very funny though. And as they come over, I turn to them. I say, "I'm a simple man. I don't have much need or fear for bandages, frankly. I think we can trust each other to help when it comes. And holy water, I think, is a great ideal. But frankly, the shovel and the skeleton key, I think, are most useful if we're looking to venture into the guild."
Was there one anti-venom, Harlan, Justin?
Nope. You can buy as
No,
many anti-venoms as you like.
Yeah, exactly.
Perhaps if we are facing something that is insidious, we would want anti-venom.
If you wish to purchase that for yourself, of course, but I think with the 10 gold he granted us, I think cumulatively we should take a shovel and a skeleton key and save the last gold piece for perhaps our next adventure.
What do you propose to do with the shovel?
Well, if there's any rubble in the way, I think it could be useful.
Fine. I think the skeleton key is a good idea, but it might be a waste of money and time carrying around a shovel.
I pick up the holy water, Justin, and I want to inspect it. Do I feel like it's like snake venom? Or
No,
snake
you
I feel
do pick it up, and you do feel that it is divine in essence.
Well, this could always come in handy. You know, I've used holy water in the past to vanquish evil, and it's good in all manner of things. Perhaps more useful than that shovel.
I have to disagree. I think the shovel could come in extremely handy.
Well, maybe you'll come back around to this on our next adventure, and I put it back. We'll get the shovel for now.
Well, you do have the money. I think for you have the money from the previous encounter. If you want to buy the holy water and hold it,
that's right.
Money.
I shall do that. And
I think the shovel and the skeleton key can be mutual party decisions. Is what I'm more. One thing asked. Well, actually, that's a good idea too. Yeah. Thanks. Good question, Mark Lane. I turn to the quartermaster and I say, "Well, you've been around here. What do you think would be most useful in the guild?"
Oh, no, I haven't actually been inside the guild.
Well, then what fucking use are you?
Well, I'm just a provisioner. That's what I'm doing. I'm provisioning. But if you talk to the master, maybe he could send a scout ahead and he could tell you.
Have you talked to the master then?
I know. No, I haven't met the master. If the master wants to use their will, but I suppose they could use a scout. I know that the master brought scouts, so that's I imagine what they're for.
Someone fleet of foot who could scout ahead, find out what we're going to face.
That's right.
That seems like a good idea. How much will that cost?
And he shrugs. But now, meta, and I'm going to unscreen share.
It's on the Facebook group, so if anyone wants to look, they can check there.
Perfect. So this is the option now. The community. Community, you are this mysterious, elusive master. You're the reason why nobody knows if the master is a man or a woman.
Too late. Lorraine already spent one on a scout. That's what you're
perfect.
That's what you're gonna say.
That's what I was going to Reagan.
Thank you, Lorraine. Also, the first person to spend XP in our new XP system. So thank you, Lorraine. Very, very, very helpful.
Wonderful. So right now, what we're going to do, we are going to roll. And I'm going to let Lorraine choose who is going to roll, so she can just pick someone. And they're going to be rolling a 1d100. And they need to get under 80% for this scout to succeed. If they get over 80%, this is kind of like Call of Cthulhu rules. If they get over, then the scout
doesn't return,
fails, and does not return.
Oh man! Can we find his dead body in the guild?
His true love and goes off and lives happily ever after.
Yeah, and gets raped to death by a giant mosquito.
It's a good way to go.
Well, I don't know. I started, right? It'd be annoying and painful. The worst rape death.
Come on.
This is 18 plus for sure.
Super 18
what?
plus.
That's not super 18 plus. Raven,
There was a mosquito.
Mosquitoes are disgusting.
We've
They
done
go
much
in.
worse than those jokes. Chris is the one that Lorraine chose to roll.
Thanks, Lorraine.
Chris, Wolfgang is going to be rolling. How does this go?
Pressure's on.
Chris?
Pressure's on. Percentile. Here we go.
Oh, no.
So,
You picked the
The
wrong
master-
person, Lorraine, just for argument's sake. Had I done it,
Yeah, you picked the wrong horse.
Higgins does take.
Oh, gee, Charlie Brown.
Higgins does talk to the master, and the master does say for the scout to go away. And you wait, but the scout never returns.
Well, we won't be doing that again. Let's get another scout.
another scout. No, let's not. I turn to the others and say, I think the scout is a good idea in an ideal world, but we're losing daylight, and frankly, the way Higgins talks about this evil. And I turn to the leper specifically, and the other two, and I say, the way this Higgins speaks of evil, he makes it seem like being too long in this mist starts affecting the people, and frankly, I'd rather be in and out of this hamlet as soon as possible. And yeah, I want to buy the shovel and the key. I think that's a good use. Well,
Yep.
Using meta understanding. What's that?
One key or more than one?
More than one key are useful, but I would say one for now is probably okay.
Well, I got the holy water, so we should be set.
The problem is, and here's sort of my conundrum, because I base the usage on the video game, which in one hand is unfair, but on the other hand, it's based on the video game. And secondly, it could not have the same intention, but then in that case, none of these seem particularly useful until we go into a dungeon the first time to understand which is and which isn't. So
Yes.
I'm going to say, based on the game, I would get a key and a shovel.
Yeah, and also I just want to add,
I agree.
this is a mechanic that kind of seems like an arbitrary rule, but it makes sense in terms of the game. The master is not one to take this expedition lightly. If you keep on going back and forth and you are wasting time, you're going to be losing money on your cut.
We start walking
Unless-
towards the thing.
Yeah, but yeah, basically, if you go on the expedition and then you're like, oh, we need a key, let's go back for a key.
Oh, right.
You can come back, but you're going to lose some of your cut. You're going to lose 2 coin of your total cut.
Okay. No, I start heading. I say, I spend the 10 coin. I have 1 left, and I turn to the other and say, you gave us 10 and this costs 9, so I'm going to keep this last one for our next pool. I'm not stealing it. I'm just keeping the coin, if that's all right. And I put it in my pocket. And then I turn to the others and with the shovel, and I say, I think we're ready to go.
And I wake from a little bit of a nap that I was just having standing up, and I follow.
The leper, the vestal, the arbalest, and the abomination make their way toward the hallowed halls of the guild. And we're going to go to the mid-game poll.
Already? What would? That's exciting. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. This is the mid-game post. This is the part of the show where we stop the action and we go to the Facebook group. Hold on. This is the part of the show where we go to the Facebook group and we post a question where you are going to answer. Now, the first person to answer the question is going to get experience points. And again, you can use that immediately in the game to help us in one of the 3 ways that was outlined in the post on the Facebook group. So check that out. Oh, Red Hook Studios is checking us out right now. Hello, Red Hook Studios.
Hello.
It's going very, very well. We are enjoying your game very much so, and hopefully we do justice. Check out the beginning because we sort of ripped it off. So yeah, go to the mid-game post. Go to the mid-game post and do that there. I need a question though, Justin.
What
Okay.
is the name of the 5 buildings in the hamlet?
Oh, wow.
Wow, good luck.
Boom!
First answer wins. Where are we doing it? In the mid-game
1
post?
experience point. So I'm posting it right now so that people can catch up.
First correct answer.
Yeah,
I'll
so
give you one
5
for-
buildings in the hamlet. Posting
We can
now. There
give,
you
we
go.
can give one. We can give one away, right? There's the strip bar,
No, yeah, there's the
There's
stripper club. There's the
supermarket.
There's the
I want to
super-
like
Just the Chuck E. Cheese.
surprise baptize both both the leper and Kessler to see what happens. Just like, oops, I spilled some holy water on you. Sucking you. See what happens.
Oh, Jake answered the question, but not correctly. He said, "God help me, I'm too drunk for this." So
Close, very close.
One of them is
might
almost
work.
correct. God.
The problem is the guy who knows the answer just went to go for a pee, so we don't really know. No, Red Hook Studios asked if we failed any resolve checks yet. Not yet. So far, we have done an intro mission. We've just gotten to the Hamlet. We've been given our quest, where we are now going to unearth the guild. We have bought on the provision scale, which is really important because this is again taken very similarly from the game. We decided that the most useful items were the shovel and the skeleton key. Much like when I play the game, they are the most useful items. And so in the video game, the shovel unearths much quicker the rubble that blocks your path, and the skeleton key opens like secret chests and things like that, which gives you money, and money is what it's all about. So we'll see if it ends up being useful. All right, we have a few answers. Michael Carl Weber said blacksmith, sanitarium, abbey, tavern, and guild. To my knowledge, that is correct. Right. That sounds right.
You forgot the Money Mart.
Oh, the Money Mart and the stripper club, says David. But you know what, Michael? You win mid-game post!
Take it along.
You win mid-game post. That's right. That means you get 1 XP. And remember, ladies and gentlemen, that you can spend your XP right now to affect the way the game is played. You can spend 1 XP to inspire, which means the mercenaries will automatically resist the first stressful experience in the next excursion, which means when we go into the guild, should we take it, we can resist that, which would be very useful. You can scout ahead, which is what we just did. Well, that's not going to work right now. Sorry, Lorraine. Or you can do the hand in the coffer, where you can spend the coin on improving the hamlet, or one of the mercs. So, or you can see it yourself for a rainy day, of course. So those are the ways you can spend. Michael, you have one. Well done for winning the mid-game post. And without further ado, back to Mr. Justin Thomas James for the entrance to the guild.
I really want to take the opportunity to take a pee. I'll be back.
Where training's done and heroes test their skills before they're put to rest. Welcome to the guild. The building before you is tall, and it seems to sway slightly in the coastal breeze that is cool this evening. And you all look at each other as you stand before these tall oaken doors, that one of them is barely hanging on one of the hinges. And everything is quiet, save for the sound of the wind howling through the hamlet and the waves crashing against the shore of the moor.
And I lit one of my torches and I hold it into the doorway. And the light gives purchase to the darkness.
I like the use of terminology.
Wow, that's some very poetic torch work you do there.
That's literally the reason I know that, and this is again meta, but that's every time you light a torch, it's like, it gives purchase to the darkness, or it gives the darkness. And I always remember that. I was like, oh, interesting.
And your candlelight flickers against the walls of the guild, and it is a tall building. And as you step inside, do you all step inside, or just the
I'll step inside, nervously.
As
I nervously step in. The leper stays outside. And what you see, Kessler, is a sitting area. A large sitting area, not unlike that of a tavern. There is a door to the left, and there is a pile of what looks to be rubble at the far end of the room. It looks like someone has stacked chairs and tables up against some doors.
Does the rubble block
but also,
the way? Oh, sorry.
It blocks the way straight ahead. There's a way you can go left. There's a way you can go straight ahead. And that is it, I believe. I've got to double check that. But regardless, you begin walking that way, and you also see that the walls go up, and it looks like there is a balcony looking over you and a second floor.
This area sings of times past. There's great horrors here. I don't wish to stay here much longer. Does anyone sense where the bandits might be? And I'm
No.
gonna give a smell roll. One of my focuses, because I am an abomination and I have a beast side of me, is that I have smelling as an.
Don't stand too close to the leper while you do it, because
Don't stand. Don't stand so close.
Don't stand too close to me.
Yeah, let's all sing at different times. What I'm going to do.
Don't stand.
Yeah, there you go. But I'm going to. So I'm going to sniff. I'm going to try to hide that I'm sniffing because I don't want anyone to know yet. Again, I'm trying to hide my abomination. So. Okay. Oh, doubles. So it's +4, so it's going to be 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Now, are we doing exploration stunts?
No, we are not doing exploration stunts.
Well, fuck that.
Yeah, sorry about that. But 13, so you take a whiff of the air, and it smells dank and musty, and you can smell
leper.
flesh, burnt flesh that smells fresh. And someone
flesh.
is here, as someone has just been cooking. Where those people are, you have no idea.
I'm not sure if you smell this, but there's something cooking in the air. And I move forward towards the pile of rubble, and I hold a shovel. Can I clear the pile of rubble with the shovel?
You can, but it is going to take some time, and it's going to make lots of noise.
So then I wait, and I turn. I look to the left, and I say, and oddly enough, Kessler is a very timid man, but even though he's describing this area as being scared, you see him sort of moving around with a bit of vigor and eagerness, which seems unlike him, especially when he was out in the open. For whatever reason, the dark halls you can see almost his heart pumping beneath his chest. I think we should check the door on the left.
I think we should take our time, Kessler, and stay together.
Well, I meant together. I wasn't saying I would go. I meant together.
Dargul is still out there.
Targul, I'm right here.
Targul's standing next to you.
Oh, he's just so ninja-like. Saw steps.
Yes,
Wow, that's
Targul, how are you feeling in this space? It's dark, it's tall, looming above. You can't see the ceiling.
I generally don't look past the eye holes in my mask, my bronze mask, and I'm slowly dying. So most things,
Aren't we all?
dying quicker than the average Joe. So honestly, you know what's going through my mind? I gently unclip the sword from my back and I put it into my hand. It is a two-handed sword, but you see the strength when I lift it with one hand and have no problem pulling it from my back to my side.
Wow,
and I say to the others, I'm fine.
And as you say that, the room echoes with a loud bang. And the leper, you lurch forward as something smashes into your back, right into your armor.
What the fuck?
You take 8 points of damage.
Wow.
And the light illuminates the entire room, and something hit you from the top of the balcony, and you look up in time to see the wick of old gun. Guns had wicks. Did old guns have wicks?
Like a musket.
Yeah, it's like
it
a
is.
musket sort of thing. Yeah.
It's not called a wick,
Still-
but I know it's called something.
Yeah,
Fuse?
yeah. So the fuse is still, I guess the fuse, lit, and you can see the faint glow of a man chewing on
Slow
something.
match. It's called slow match.
Slow match, and he's reloading his gun. And everybody roll initiative.
How high up is the balcony? Oh wow.
It is about 12 feet high.
Okay. Could it be done with an acrobatics roll?
Yeah. If you jumped off a table.
Okay. Oh, 4, 8.
Now, as you draw your weapons and engage to the darkness around you, you see 2 more brigands step out of the shadows. Similar to the ones before, they wield 2 daggers.
I have 16.
I have 17.
I have $1 million. 9.
Oh, that's close, actually. 15
And
plus
11.
you've 3 dexterity. So
18.
David, you actually got 18, yeah.
Yeah.
And 11 for the
Hard
leper?
roll. Now, what am I adding something to it?
You add your dexterity.
Okay, so 12.
So, good. Perfect.
Sorry, I missed that.
Straight to the arbalest. Men fire at you from the shadows. Will you let them?
So I was kind of standing behind them in the doorway. Would I be able to see up on the balcony of the guy that had shot?
You will be able to
Tugwell?
see, but you're going to get a -2 because it is shrouded in darkness.
Any of the other 2 that came out?
You're able
can
to
I see them more clearly?
Yeah. Yeah.
I can see them more
Light of the
clearly.
door. You can.
Okay, maybe this is too in depth, but maybe like, what is the feeling I get from them? The exact same feeling as the men from the darkness, or is it one where I could reason with them?
It seems as though they're out for flesh. These men are long beyond being able to speak to them and negotiate. They want to kill for the fun of it.
Okay, so with the sense of that, then I aim for one of the men that come out of the darkness.
Fire your arbalest. Fire your crossbow. Let your bolt sing true.
Oh shit! Sorry.
Damn it, I just broke my mask.
Now we gotta look at your disfigured face.
12. Okay, so that actually hits right off the bat from the roll.
Plus,
So
plus extra as well, right? Or no?
That's okay. If you hit, you hit. So
Okay.
roll for damage.
Okay. So 2. 8 plus 12.
12 damage. So your arrow soars through the air and pierces the man's armor, and he falls back, but then pushes himself forward, staggering, still leering at you, ready to strike. We are on to who rolled 17.
I did.
Okay.
Seeing the man with the pistol reloading, I'm going to use dazzling light, and I'm going to blind him. So
Perfect.
seeing him, I kind of gesture towards his face, and you see this like flash of sparks in his eyes, and you see a little bit of burning around the eyes as he can't see. His eyes instantly water. And I call out to Kessler, I'll give you a lift up. And I act as if I'm willing to like launch him if he like steps up.
Perfect. So you ready that, and Kessler.
Yeah, I guess I'll take it then. I look to him and say, "Oh, all right. It's my time to pull my weight." And I grab my large manacles. Sounds like man testicles, but my
Man, you got some large manacles.
hanging around my shoulder, and I use him to boost myself up.
Okay.
And I'll use acrobatics, I guess,
Yep.
which is very good. So 10, 15, 19.
Plus the
Wow.
No problem. So
Plus whatever he gave me. So it's like a...
with agility,
Now you can start doubting something's up.
yeah,
Before...
with agility
Hold on
unbeknownst
a
to any
second.
man,
What the fuck?
onto the second balcony, and he's at the feet of the
I
Fusilier.
believe I'm playing.
Is that my
Team
turn, or
Wolf.
can I attack as well?
Nope, you can still attack.
Perfect. And then I'll end up almost totally confident in my steps, but I'll almost play off that I didn't know. So good boost. And I'll use my manacles to wrap them around his legs. And my intention is to whip them around his legs and pull it out from under him as I kind of smile now that they're out of sight with sort of a bloodthirsty grin as I do it.
Okay, go ahead. Roll for dexterity. You're going to be rolling against his. Ooh.
Double. Oh yeah, it's double down. Yeah, it's not. I always forget whether it's on damage or this, but it's this.
All right, so I'm going to give you the stunt points for that because you do hit.
Perfect.
prone
So
over the
13. So I'm going to use the 5 stunt points. Yeah, good call. I'm going to let's see. Lethal blow could do 2d6 extra damage. I could kill him in one. There's only one guy up here? Or there's more?
There's only one guy. Yeah.
I think I'm just going to try to take the advantage. Again, role-playing the abomination with the bloodthirsty mindset. He's more just wanting to get his feet into him, get his fingers into him. So I'm going to spend all 5 on lethal blow. So I inflict an extra 2d6 damage. So that's going to be 3d6 plus 7.
3d6 plus 7. Okay, go ahead.
So that's 8, 9 plus 7. So that's
all
math
right.
I never learned how to do. 16.
So you do manage to kill him. Describe it however you like.
So with my face hidden and the abomination bubbling within me, I whip my manacles around his feet and pull it out, and I lunge on top of him again, down out of sight, and I dig my thumbs into his eyes as my teeth begin to sharpen as the abomination begins bubbling beneath my flesh. As he dies in my hands, and I can feel the cracking of his skull as my hands are slowly crushing his face, I pull back, my teeth receding back into my gums, and my thumbs, I wipe them off.
See if he wants to repent.
He's passed away. The manacles did him in. And I stand up, wiping the bit of splattered blood from my face and licking it furiously off my hand as I do.
Perfect. And as you lick, I know I said that there was no one else up here, but it's really hard to see.
No.
No, there's
like that. You could have said you don't know. You said
don't know.
no.
I know. I said no. But there's someone else down there that you guys haven't seen, possibly. And he begins running out of the shadows towards the leper. The leper, who is hulking, the tallest masked man. He begins to stab at you with his daggers. And all right. So he is going to hit you. And he's got 3 stunt points. So you are going to be pushed back 1 space.
God.
You are also going to take 7 points of penetrating damage.
What?
So that you'll have your armor rounded down. So your armor will be 2 now.
Yeah.
And so you're taking 7 points of damage, and 2 of which are blocked, so 5 points. And you're also bleeding. You can feel that the dagger connected with a vein, and blood is starting to flow from the wound.
Jesus.
That's not what the leper would say. He'd say...
The leper coughs and slowly stands up after being stabbed and pushed and beaten.
And while that's happening, the one who is stunned is still stunned, but the one that the arbalest shot lunges forward at the arbalest, doing the same sort of tactic, stabbing quickly, almost trying to shank his opponent. And same thing, David, I'm going to roll against you.
Okay.
All right, so he got a 13 to attack. Is that what's your defense?
Defense. My defense is 13.
All right. So a tie goes to the attacker.
Oh,
So
son of a gun.
you feel the dagger connect as well. And you also take 7 points of damage, piercing, so have your armor. So you take 5 points of damage, and you are bleeding as well. So at the start, both of you, at the start of your next turns, you have to take 1 bleed damage until you use some bandages to staunch the flow.
Okay. Is it my turn now?
And it is the leper's turn, I believe.
Okay.
Yes. And I use Revenge, which deals an extra 3 damage to anyone who has hit me in this encounter. So the guy that stabbed me.
Yep.
I turn. Well, hopefully, do I have to use this before I even hit him?
Yep.
Okay. So I'm going to intend to use the Revenge. You stab me. I cut you. And I pull. I've already got my sword, so I lift it from the ground and swing it into his face. 3, 6, 1, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15.
To hit? Definitely.
So.
It definitely hits.
And then with damage, I do 14 and plus extra 3, so 17 damage.
Okay. So
That's pretty
14
much my health.
plus your strength, though, as well, right?
Oh. So 11, 14. Okay, plus my strength. So it's 17 plus the extra 3 for revenge. So that's 21.
21 points.
Oh, 20.
20 points
20.
of damage. Annihilated. Describe it to us.
As I look up and lift my sword with vigor, I catch his underarm and I cut from here off his head. So his whole head and arm gone.
Yes, the top left of his torso goes flying into the darkness as the bottom half of his body still stands for a moment, his left arm slashing wildly before he collapses to his knees and to the ground, a pool of blood surrounding him.
And splashing my face and body with blood as well.
That's right. Well done, Leper. Moving on to the arbalest.
I aim at the man who's basically upon me, and I use sniper shot as well to compensate for the short range of it. Yeah.
Perfect.
Okay.
So sniper shot is an automatic hit, correct?
It's an auto hit with a +3 to regular damage. So I didn't even really need to roll that, eh?
To roll for attack. So go ahead and roll damage and add +3.
Okay.
All right. And he is also annihilated.
Yeah.
Describe it.
The man is upon me, and I take my crossbow wherever I put it. Here we go. And I put it right into his stomach and struggling to find the trigger as I'm like trying to fend off with my left arm. I finally find it and right there in front of me.
Bolt pierces right through his armor and he is lodged and thrown upward, backwards into the air, collapsing onto a dusty table that cracks in two as he crashes into it.
Yeah, very Chris Farley-esque.
Okay.
What's the reference there?
I don't know. I'm just imagining
Physical
Chris Farley
comedy.
doing pratfalls. Just
Falling down.
And lastly, one of them is still standing, dazed, slashing wildly in the darkness, trying to get his vision back.
The blinded man is
Move on
dead.
to the Vestal.
I blinded the guy with the gun before he was killed with someone's thumbs in his eyes, so he can actually see.
So this man can actually see. Okay. All right. So this man can see, but he didn't attack last time. But it's your turn, Vestal.
Okay. Which of the two companions who've been fighting look the most wounded between Alex and David?
It looks like the leper has been the most damaged.
It's not your time yet, I say to him. And I reach a hand on his shoulder and I say, know that it is not your time. And I heal him. So I'm going to heal him the amount 4 hit points.
Perfect.
So actually 6 hit points if I can. Well, how many hit points has he lost?
Go ahead and roll. You're going to be rolling against the darkness of this area. So 13. If you get a 13, you'll get 13 or higher, you get a +2.
Okay, cool.
So
Just
the
an
darkness in
FYI.
this area. Yeah.
Just an
Success.
FYI. I am down 16 hit points.
Okay. So in that case, I will heal you 8 hit points.
Oh, wow.
4 plus 2, right?
4 plus 2 for my divine magic.
Yeah. So then
And
that's
then plus 2 you said for having more than 13, or is that what my divine magic
that's
is?
what your divine magic. So
Okay,
if you
so then 6 hit points.
So the way I'm treating this for the Vestal is certain areas will require more faith. So healing, you're going to heal automatically 4 hit points every time. Make sure you subtract it from your faith.
Right.
But depending on how evil the area is, it's going to be harder or easier. This area, it's away from the mansion, so it's not directly affected by this darkness. So it's still hard, 13, but not undoable. Now that you've beat the 13, you add the divine magic skill that you have.
Does the divine magic skill still take away from my faith points as well? So like a total of 6 points now?
I will say no. We will not subtract that. So that's extra.
Cool. So
Perfect.
So it's 8?
yeah, 6.
6.
6 points.
Okay. So I'm at 24 hit points from 34. Which is not
And
bad.
then I stand behind him as I do it and kind of push him towards the battle.
And are there still bandits living?
Yes.
Okay. I
There are
don't
still
realize
bandits
what you're
living.
doing until afterwards, Chris. Oh, but he's gone.
No,
I
I'm
don't
here.
realize what he's doing till afterwards. And
Right.
then when I realize he's touching me, I kind of do a double take, but I don't say anything and I don't stop him. And you see in my eyes that maybe I might believe, after all, in the power of Christ.
I'm gonna say love.
The Maker.
The maker.
Point being, yeah. Thank you. And I give you
All
that
right.
look and nod.
So, one brigand still stands. And he's been a little confused as to what was going on, but now seeing this man of the light purging anguish from the leper, the brigand leaps towards this man of faith to squish it out as best he can. And he attacks you, Chris.
Oh, how I would love to intervene.
Sorry.
That being said, did I not stand behind? Did I not say I was staying behind?
he has to actively defend you.
Ah, fair enough.
Mhm.
Can I not?
Yeah, you need to make that statement.
You have to make the statement on your turn. Say, I am defending this person. If anybody moves into melee contact to attack him, they have to go through me first.
You gotta go
Right.
through me first.
But that being said, with 7, he does not hit. So the Vestal, you're able to dodge out of the way quickly before he connects with you.
You know not what you do. I had to dodge out of the way.
As the arbalist readies his crossbow, what do you do?
I swing around. Am I losing 1 hit point a turn, by the way?
You are losing 1 hit point. So take another hit point off.
Okay, I think I'm at 19 now.
And until you get your hands on some bandages, you are going to be taking 1 hit point every round.
Per turn, okay. And I aim at the dude. I'm defending Vestal.
Okay.
Yeah. So
you're stepping in front of the Vestal to defend him?
no, I mean I'm shooting at the guy that's attacking because I'm assuming it's long range enough.
Okay.
Oh, okay. And then I add. Shoot, can I add any of my hero skills, or do I need to say that before?
We'll say it before, yeah. But let me
Okay.
see what you have. You've got +3 to hit, and then you also have bows, so that brings you up to 11, right?
Yeah.
Yep. So that's still enough to hit him.
Okay. All right. And all right, cool. And then +4, so 16.
All right, and he is annihilated yet again. So go ahead and roll. Describe what happens there.
So as he lunges towards Vestal and the Vestal and the Vestal moves out of the way, I turn and swing and see him, and it just goes through one ear and out the other, and then kind of stays there like those Halloween things, you know. He just kind of like looks at me really quickly and then collapses.
Your foes have been vanquished. Silence surrounds you, as well as the darkness, yet again.
And I begin climbing down from the upper level after I searched the body for whatever was on it.
So the bodies, again, 5 coin on each of them.
Wow.
They're all very steadily, they all carry 5 coin.
Well,
no
there's a
barrier.
toll bridge, right?
There's a toll bridge. That's right. They got it. 5 coins just in case.
Exact change. I move around to the different party members and I heal them as they're needed. Oh, it's
Okay.
this will stop. Don't worry. And I heal Regan, and then I go to the leper and I do the same thing.
So how much are they?
Well,
They lost.
I've lost. Okay, so I lost 5 initially, and then I lost 1, and then another one. So I lost 7.
7. So you can put yourself
Yeah.
back up 7, and then you can put yourself up another 7. Targul.
So I'm back
Okay.
up to full. Okay, great.
That's all my
So
faith
now
points.
that's all your faith points. Okay.
As you heal me, Chris, I turn to you and I say quietly under my breath,
I may not have been a man of religion, but you are certainly helping me to see the light side of things.
Faith is a funny thing. Sometimes you have it even if you don't search for it. You continue to heal him.
And the abomination, you return to the main floor of the guild.
Well, that's quite the welcome party, wasn't it? We barely got anywhere, and already we face quite some challenges.
Yeah, it's a bit. I'm not too sure why they were so eager to attack us. Perhaps those were all the bandits.
Did you take the firearm from the bandit that was up there?
No. I pulled the things. I wish not to use them. If you want to, I can climb back up and grab it. But
Well, it might come in handy, but I've never used one before, so I'd probably miss anyways. Gesundheit.
oh, your nose.
Oh, yeah, here's
No,
your
no.
nose. Yeah, you beat me to it.
My tongue fell out. I lost my tongue.
This is on this is on the floor. So I looked towards the door to the left. We never actually got through it, did we?
No, not yet. You haven't been through the door to the left, and you haven't cleared the rubble yet.
So as we're talking, then I'm going to go towards that door. I say, well, I wonder if that was all of them, and I go to try the door.
The door handle, it does change. It turns. That's the word.
Does the door open or not?
The door opens. Yeah,
No, it does.
It's open.
I didn't know we need colorful fingers for that.
Already in my head. The door creaks open into the next room, and it's actually 2 big double doors. Again, double doors everywhere at the guild.
That's all right. So I turn back to the others and say, it does look like there's something this way. But I do think the trouble would also clear the path ahead. Which do you want to pursue first?
Whatever you think is the most viable option.
I think
The doors
For
to the
us.
room to the left are quite thick, and as you stand near them, you can actually hear a faint sound on the other side. Whoosh, ah! Whoosh, ah!
perhaps
The sound of someone being whipped.
perhaps we should aid them. I'm not too sure.
I think it is our job.
There's someone suffering in there. We must make haste. And I open the door quickly to go in.
Is it our job?
You open the door, and the room is well lit, fire lit, and it looks to be a sort of training ground. Blood-stained sand covers the center of the room, and there's a bit of an auditorium that surrounds it. And in the center of the sand pit is a man on his knees, a man dressed in the fine robes of one of the master's scouts.
Oh.
He's bound, and his back is ripped open. A large looming figure stands before him, bigger than any man you have ever seen, with a whip, a bullwhip, lashing it on man's backs.
Stop! Stop what you're doing! What has he done to deserve this?
Just as the whip cracks again on the man collapses to the ground with a whimper. The big, hulking beast of a man turns toward you and wrings the blood off of the whip
Ooh.
and growls.
Oh, I see.
begins making way toward you. All right, everybody roll. Actually, we're going to just keep the same initiative order as the last time. We're just going to jump into it at the same spot just for expediency.
Sure.
And we're going to be jumping to the Vestal as the first person to go.
Seeing that it's a monstrous and see no soul in those eyes, I pull out one of the daggers that I had from the road and I throw it towards him, trying to hit him from a distance.
Okay.
Then I keep the distance and I make sure that I am behind the others. So I back away as I see him and I throw the dagger towards him.
Perfect. Go ahead and roll your dexterity.
14.
14 is a hit against him.
Okay, and I believe it's 1d6 for a dagger. So plus my 4 for dexterity, right?
Yep.
So 10 points of damage.
Oh, sorry.
Piercing damage.
Plus your perception. Sorry.
Okay. So 6 plus 1, 6 plus 2, 6 plus 2. So 8 points of piercing damage.
6 points, 8 points of piercing damage.
Thank you. Yes. So I throw
Perfect.
the blade as it whips through the air, spinning, and catches him in the shoulder.
Perfect. And he doesn't even budge. The dagger continues just to stick out of him as he continues lumbering towards you. And it's now at this point that you see other figures step out of the shadows.
Perhaps I was wrong to rush in. Gentlemen.
So there are 5 figures in general, and just in the chat, I'm just going to do a breakdown. Number 1 is going to be the, we're calling him the Bloodletter, as per Darkest Dungeon.
This episode is brought to you by the Bloodletter.
Number 2 and 3 are going to be the Cutthroats. These are the guys with daggers.
Yeah.
Number 4 and 5, Fusiliers.
Not the fuselage.
2 Fuselages, 2 cut toads, and 1 blood leader. All right. We are going to the Abomination, who stands with his candle as the Vestal begins to back behind him.
And I don't think I can hold my abomination in anymore. And with the torch in my hand, I sort of begin to shake a little bit. I hope this wasn't going to come to this. And I look at the Bloodletter, the massive creature before me. Is it like a man or is it a beast? Or
It's hard to say. He's a man, but he is almost double your height. And his gut sticks out to the size of many men.
And just murmuring while this is going on, I just want to be murmuring, did that dagger look like it hurt him at all? I mean, did it look like it?
And I drop the torch to my side as I begin to keel over, and the back of my shirt splits. And small little rasps of pellets hit the floor as you can see my white teeth fall out in the flickering light of the torch. And long fangs come as a snout extrudes from my face, and my skin splits, revealing dark red hairs and yellow eyes as my skull splits open, cracking, and my skin falls away as if you
were a leopard.
tattered clothes. Sure. And standing before you is a massive beast with elongated claws, and I howl as it shakes the room, and you see the 5 people in the room sort of step back. Well, maybe, I don't really know. And I lunge towards the blood.
And the sight of the transformation of this unseeming man into this abomination is horrifying. And everybody takes 2 stress.
Sorry.
What is stress come off of?
I think that makes sense.
Yeah. So you each all have a stress scale up to 10.
Oh, okay.
The first stressful situation that you guys had was the Fusilier firing at you out of the darkness. But I didn't say anything because I completely forgot. So are you guys okay with taking stress after the fact for that moment?
Yeah. Sure.
Yep. Sure.
Yeah,
So how
okay.
many we're taking?
So I'm going to give 2 or 1 to everybody except for Alex, who's going to take an extra 3.
Huh?
Huh?
Because Alex was the one who got shot.
So what?
Oh,
You
so
were surprised.
one for that, and then 2 for what just happened.
Yes, that's right.
Okay.
I was
So-
referring, Alex, to when you got shot in the last room.
Oh, okay.
First time
So
in
I
the
have-
dark.
Alex has 5 then.
You should have 5 stress right now. Your stress level's at 5.
Jesus,
Mine's
I
7.
am stressed out.
Mm-hmm.
I am so stressed right now.
So I lunge at the blood letter with all my might, but I'm not rolling might. Oh my fuck!
Oh.
That's
all right.
That's
Lots
what
of
happens
high
when the beast
rolls.
comes out.
A dervish
Beast
of
mode.
claws.
This is gonna be good.
What?
This is
Okay,
gonna be
let's
good.
see.
So I'm going 6, 6, 5. So that's 6 stunt points, which is
Yep.
great. And I'm going to use beast claws, which that's +4, but I don't need that. So that's normally 2d6 plus 5. I'll spend 5 points on the lethal blow, which is double. So that's going to be 4d6 plus 5.
Yeah.
And then I got 1 extra point, and I will do move yourself or the target 2 yards. So I'll ram him into the wall. So what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be lunging at him with my claws, shoving them into his shoulders and carrying him back, pinning him to the wall behind him. If I don't kill him, we'll find out.
Smashing his head against the stone wall as you do it.
Here we go. So 4d6 plus 5. Let's just do this quick.
11.
4 plus 2 plus 3 plus 2 plus 5 is 16 damage. And I'm going to skirmish him. I'm going to move him.
Perfect.
to a
So
wall.
he smashes against the wall. Bits of the wall begin to crumble and dust falls around you.
And as he's in front of me, I snap at him with my jaws.
And you all see this, and you're all still kind of reeling from the last inspiration. And you're all so kind of stunned that it just happens to be their turn anyways.
Kill the wolf thing.
Yeah, right.
The other 4 begin to act. So immediately you see the Fusiliers that had to dodge out of the way not to get crushed by this beast. They dodge out of the way and immediately begin firing at it, both the Fusiliers.
Sean Sprague would like to spend an XP to lessen the stress.
To
For me.
lessen the stress. Okay,
Unless he can lessen for all of us.
so that's I will allow it this time. I kind of like this idea, but words. You're inspired somehow. Somehow the master
Well,
has.
seeing that creature and he's on our side, I feel a little bit more reassured.
Me too.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's
I don't think
true.
it lessens the
That's
stress
true.
for all of you, though. Is it?
I don't.
All
Well,
right.
yeah, like,
You
Because
don't.
I'm like,
is
I
it
feel
for
like
all of us or is it for
I
one
don't
of
know.
us?
Yeah,
I will say that for the if it happens when the master's around to inspire you, then it's for all of you. But because you're out, it's only for one of you. So figure out who
I
that's.
think it
going
should
to
be for Alex, and here's my justification. He feels like he's less of the monster in the group now.
Yeah.
I'm not
I'm not
His jaw literally hits the floor.
All right.
Perfect. Okay, so
Reminds
Alex,
me
you're
of that
going
scene in
to
Beetlejuice, where he's like, Beetlejuice.
Yeah.
you're gonna relieve yourself of 2 stress, so you're back down to 3.
2. Wow.
And yeah, 2. Normally it's 1 for the inspiration, but because it's just one
Well,
person,
thank you, Sean Sprague.
there you go. So the 2 Fusiliers fire at the beast. And what is your defense right now normally?
Oh, what is defense supposed to be?
Beast man.
I never actually rolled it up. What is the defense supposed to
11.
be?
Defense is your
10
dexterity plus 10. Yeah.
Plus 10, so 14.
14. All right. So that one is a hit. And that one is also a hit.
Ooh.
So I'll do the first one first. That's going to be plus 2 to his attack. You take 10 points of damage as the gun fires into your back. And you're also kind of staggered by it. You're pushed over to the side, skirmish, releasing your hold from the bloodletter. The other Fusilier fired at you, and he rolled a 6. And he seems to be aiming, and he's actually going to get a +3 to his damage. So you take 11 points of damage for this attack. And he's got 2 left. You are... Oh, wait, no, 1 left. And again, you're further jostled around because he used lethal blow.
Right.
Yeah. And for expediency, I'm not rolling for them. They just have like a set number. So you are knocked around again, even further away from. Next, we move on to... we have... Whoever rolled a 13 last time.
That was me, I think.
That was...
Yeah.
Leper, your voice got significantly less scary.
That was me.
I had a lozenge.
Yeah, okay, so we're on to the leper.
Show me the money. All right. I would like to try to use my intimidation. Because on a successful intimidation check, I cause my target to cower, which
take
means
off
they
your
can't attack for 1 round.
Okay.
So plant my feet, draw my sword, stand tall, and remove mask. Boo!
Perfect. So it's an automatic success, correct? Or is it an intimidate roll?
You know what? It doesn't say anything.
I'm going to say it's automatic success because it's one of your special skills. By the way, how many of the special skills have you guys used?
I haven't used any right now.
I've used one since we left camp.
You mean the hero
Okay.
skills?
The hero skills. That's right. So this is one.
Problem is
And
all mine
revenge.
do half damage, which isn't that great. So I don't probably not going to use them, to be honest, because it's always better to chance it than to get.
Yeah,
We
that's
should
true.
worry about
But depending on what it is, it
for
might be
next time.
something like vital, like
Or it's someone who's like impossible to hit because his armor's too good.
This
Yeah,
is 2
just
for me.
Yeah, but that's the problem, because if I can hit him, but if I'm half damage, it's not going to get through his armor.
Sorry, not his armor. His defense is too high.
Yeah, but you know what I mean. Like with half damage with armor, like even if I got, whatever I rolled for damage, which would be 2 or 2d6, if I got a really good roll, which would be 12, half that's only 6. Armor normally is anywhere from like 3 to 5, which means that's usually 1 damage. So, well, next time we play it, we'll balance it better. But I realized that once we started, I'm like these skills.
The big guy you're fighting right now doesn't wear any armor. He doesn't have any.
Yeah, but it's still, but that's the thing. It's better to chance it because you have to. Well, anyway.
Yeah,
besides,
fair enough.
We'll figure it out
So,
later.
anyways, the leper pulls off his mask and he says this intimidating thing, which was boo. And for some reason, the cutthroat cannot move. And it is because of the leper, because he used the skill. It has nothing to do with the ravenous beast next to him
I'm like this.
attacking his leader. Much scarier leper, thank you. So one of the cutthroats is completely still, and I'll allow him to be still. I actually forgot to do the turn of the cutthroats last time. I did both Fusiliers. But we'll say this one's stunned. The other one, though, is just going to take his turn now before we go back to initiative order. And he runs forward to attack. He is going to go for 1, 2, 3 in order. Oh, that's not what I wanted to do. 1, 2, 3, 4. He's attacking the arbalest. So he runs toward you, arbalest.
Oh,
And you take a bunch of dagger swings toward you. And he actually misses. You just barely manage to dodge out of the way of this dagger.
Kind of like
attack,
that.
like a courtesan.
Yeah.
And now it's your turn. You get to react. What do you do?
I fire at him, I guess. I'm pretty one-dimensional, aren't I?
You don't have to be, baby.
What else can I do? I don't have any daggers.
Jump on
me
a
to,
table
like-
and sing a fucking jig, man. It's role playing. Do whatever you want.
Yeah. Well,
Our new Invictus logo. Drop it on
just got-
table and see.
I just
Do it
run
on
away.
+1.
Yeah. I aim at him.
All right.
Close
You aim.
quarters.
Yes.
And I fire.
You fire.
Do I have a limit to my bolts? That
Nope.
sounded wrong.
No, you don't have a limit to your bolts. You just have an unlimited.
Oh no!
Oh no!
Oh no!
Now you have a limit to your
Use
bow
that
strings.
as an opportunity
Wow.
to do a GM intrusion, which is an element
Different system.
for Ruben. Because why the fuck not, right? So
Sure.
triple ones. I mean, I think it calls for it.
Do whatever
So-
you want, man. It's your game.
For this intrusion, I
Same
am
words.
going to say
Make the arrow explode in his face.
that the arrow explodes. Thank you for that suggestion, Abomination.
In my
That
own
is
face?
Wonderful. It's going to explode right in your face.
It goes.
In my face.
2 damage. Yeah, the string actually. No, I won't say the string snap because then, yeah. But it explodes in your face, and you take 2
Wow.
points of damage and 2 points of stress,
And you're dead.
and you're dead. You're also dead. No, he's not.
No.
He's
Too
still
bad.
Dead?
No. That'd be
Oh,
kind of
fine.
funny though.
And this happens, and I just kind of go, oh, I had a perfect record.
You did.
It's going so well.
You needed to be
And
humble.
my stoic facade just crumbles, and I just start
Weeping.
Yeah.
What am I?
Okay.
I got a
So,
monster over here, Goo-Face beside me.
so you're
Oh,
obviously
he's
a little
Good-face.
distracted for that.
Yeah.
But and so we move on to the Vestal. The Vestal, you hear an explosion and you turn to see a bolt explode right in the arbalest's face. What do you do?
Dynamite?
I don't think that's how you're supposed to use that. And I throw another dagger at the one coming towards him or who's engaged with him.
All right.
12 to hit.
12 to hit. So that's 3 plus 3 plus 8 plus your dexterity, which is 4.
Yep.
That is a hit. So the dagger connects with this one.
Okay, so I got a point. My dragon die is a 3.
Mhm.
So I believe what page is on 54. Stun points. I will do a mighty blow.
Mighty blow.
Okay.
So that's 2, and then you can skirmish him if you like.
Let's see here. So
Away from
5 points of damage, piercing damage, and I will stay aware.
stay aware. Okay, and that will do what exactly?
Stay aware just allows me to be perception test with the focus of your choice. If you succeed, you may either make you aware of some battlefield situation that's so far escaped your notice, or give you a +1 bonus to the next test you make.
Okay, so go ahead and do a perception check.
With a +1 is 13.
13.
Oh, sorry, way
so
more
you
than
notice
that.
that,
Way more, 16.
way more. Okay, so you notice that at the far end of the room where the wall has been smashed into by a beast and, well, another beast of a man, it looks like the wall is trembling slightly, and it looks like there might be a bit of a cave-in there, which is where the abomination is standing currently.
Okay.
All right, so we move on to the abomination. In his bestial form, what do you do?
I walk into the fireplace to make a cup of tea. I could really go over something to mix up this dull drudgery that is my appetite. No, I'm going to, in a role-playing sense, not for damage. I'm just going to take a bite out of. Well, I guess he's no longer in my arms, is he?
Nope, but he's still pretty close.
I just want to get the taste of man flesh
Mm.
down my throat. So I guess I will rake at him,
Okay.
which is another attack. Well, no, not the hero skill. Sorry, Jill. I'll just attack him.
Okay.
So I will run at him again with the claw, with my claws out.
Perfect.
Sounds he makes. Bam, 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 bam. 6, 7, 8, 9 plus 4 is 13.
That is a hit.
Thank God.
Your
I roll
hit.
2d6 plus 5, which is 5 and 5 is 10.
5 and 5 is
So
10.
10
I
points of
did think
damage.
so. Yeah, that's 16 and 10, so that's 26 so far.
All right. So, based on the damage that has been done to him already by the dagger thrown at him from the Vestal, you are just able to vanquish the last bit of life from this beast of a man. Tell me, how does it happen, Abomination?
Again, after I stab him through things and he pushes me aside, I get down and look back at him, snarling. I run at him full speed and again dig my claws into the same wounds I left before as I knock him prone and begin slashing at his stomach. My claws rivet over his bones as they make brr, brr, and his chest cavity begins to open as I claw at his innards, pulling them out and chomping at them in the air as blood mists the air around me as I snarl wildly around.
As
I
I
have a
see, I
question.
see the bloodlust in this creature like tearing in, and I say, I don't know if you can hear me, Kessler, but the wall, stay away from it. It is going to cave in on you.
Well, I figured I would have like rushed him away from that, but I would do it. I wouldn't notice either way. I'd be like,
I like the idea that the wall caves in on half of him, and like you're still eating the half that's like sticking out.
whoa.
All right, Alex, you had a question.
I'm just curious, maybe for everybody out there, Harlan, maybe do you want to give us a description of what your abomination beast mode looks like? What are you?
Yeah, it's not a known beast. It's something unworldly. It's got thick, matted red fur, almost like it came from the womb. It's thick with wet globules of bile and thickened. It has veins throughout its flesh that can be seen throughout, and they pulsate green. My eyes are yellow with red slits in them. I have elongated snout like a wolf, but I have thick black horns that strick back towards my back. And other than that, a beast-like wolf body, but blackened claws like a raptor, massive and thick.
I had no idea he looked like this. Can I take all my actions back and just chuck the holy water at him and try to
All
Next
right.
turn.
So
Thanks.
the abomination tears away at this flesh as the roof precariously shudders above him, and we're on to the enemy's turn. Now the Fusiliers reload their weapons, and they have a chance to fire as well because they are not moving. But I'm going to say, for fairness' sake, that they're going to do a roll to see whether or not they're intimidated. Because this is quite the scene. They're watching their master being ripped to shreds. So the first one succeeds, and he manages to avoid being intimidated. The second one does not. So one of them cowers and begins to back away, unable even to load his weapon. The other one, however, is a little bit more seasoned and fires at the beast. And he hits, I believe, 16, yeah. So he hits, and
That's only 11. Is that 11 or 16?
that is 16. So again, the abomination, you are hit once more with the pellets of this gun. You take 11 points of damage.
Okay.
How you doing?
And next,
I have 17 health.
the other man, the cutthroats, one of them was stunned, but he's no longer stunned, and he lunges forward toward the abomination, not the abomination, the leper. 1, 2, 3. And he is going to miss.
Excellent.
Leper. Wait, what's your defense again?
My defense is 11.
Okay, so it does definitely miss. And the other one, the one standing before the arbalist who just basically shot himself in the face, is attacking again against the arbalest, and he is going to connect. Again, his dagger sinks into your skin, arbalest, and you take 7 points of piercing, or 7 points of piercing damage.
Ugh. With my armor of 5 as well?
Yes. So that is 2 points of damage, but bleed 1. So you're bleeding yet again.
Okay, so 22. So I'm down to 21. Okay.
And now we are on to... That's all of the enemies. All of the enemies have gone. Good. Now it's just for the roof. Let's see if the roof collapses. If it rolls anything under a 10, it does so. It does not collapse. The element, the ceiling holds true, and we are back to the leper. The leper, you've just been swung at. What do you do?
So who's still standing? Other than us 4.
Okay, yeah. So you've got... It doesn't seem like too much damage has been done to any of the small guys.
Okay.
What have you guys been doing?
Then
I threw the dagger. I don't know if you remember that.
How much damage did that do? Sorry. You did 5 damage, right?
It doesn't matter. He's been eaten by a were thing.
Oh, you did the big guy. You threw another one at the small guy. Leper, what did you do on your last turn?
I pulled up my mask and intimidated them for
right.
1 turn.
Perfect.
What did the
Okay.
intimidation do?
It made him cower for a turn.
Yeah.
But didn't they just attack?
He forgot to use them 1 time.
No, I think their
Or did
turn
you
was.
forget?
I think because he's right before you. He did actually attack. He missed anyways, so he's cowering in front of you. So if you'd taken damage, you wouldn't have. But he's cowering there. Sorry, I lost track of that.
That's okay, because I think you missed him on the first round, and I was counting it towards that. That's okay. You know what? I'm just gonna attack. There's no. I don't have anything special. I'm just gonna
About damn time.
use my 2-handed, 6-foot sword and slash at him because he's standing right in front of me, cowering. I don't know how I could miss, but
You can.
let's see how this goes. And I fucking do an 8. Probably miss.
Plus your strength, right?
Oh, yeah. Sorry. Good memory. Thank you. So we've got an 8, 9, 10, 11, plus 2, I think, for heavy weapons, right? So 12, 13.
It's a hit. You do connect with the man. And how much damage do you do? Tell me. I really want to know.
6, 8. What is that, 11?
11.
Let me get my calculator. Hold on. 11. And do I add anything to that?
Plus your strength again. So that'd be 4, right?
Yeah.
All right. So you're 15 damage.
14.
You cleave the
3
man.
strength.
You
I
kill him.
do.
Yeah.
I hack him right down from here to between his legs and right in half.
From his neck to his nave.
And he splits apart, and both sides, quite equal in their mass, collapse.
Holy fuck.
Excellent.
And do you do anything with your minor action?
What can I do with the minor action?
You can move. You can reload
Yes.
your bow.
You can shout out to the beast that the roof is collapsing.
Moving will do well. I'll move towards the next available enemy.
Perfect.
With
All right, so that would be the one.
Intent and staring and anger and craziness.
Yes, the last cutthroat. There are 2 fusiliers remaining, but the cutthroat is attacking the arbalest, who finally manages to gather his wits and act again.
Yes. I stopped weeping briefly, and
Between sobs.
and I let out a few more after I get stabbed again as well. Doesn't help. And then I just try to attack him again. What else can I do?
Okay.
And I say, hopefully I do not blow this bolt in my face.
And Wolfgang says, "What? What was that?"
I said, hopefully I don't blow this bolt in my face. Why isn't this working? I'm sorry, it was very gross. Oh, come on. This is not good.
Well, it's better than last time. So we got 6 plus.
What? My dexterity? 3?
Yep.
9.
And then plus bows, which is plus 2.
Oh, and I get a but I get a -2.
-2. So because of that
it's
-2,
short range.
you do miss. The bolt, he manages to knock your crossbow slightly, and the bolt goes askew. And now we're going over. Do you do anything with your minor action? You can move if you like. Or reload. Or you already reloaded to fire.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I already used a minor action. Okay. All right.
So you're done. We're on to the Vestal.
Sometimes it's better to retreat and try again another time. We should make haste. And I call out to the group and I gesture to the ceiling. It's coming down. And then I heal everybody by saying a blessing.
It's
Divine
coming
comfort.
down.
I don't believe it is our time, but it could be their time, and we shouldn't get in the way of that. Let's go.
How much do you heal?
And I heal everybody 1d6. 1d6.
Do we roll it, or are you going to roll it?
1d6. And then you can roll. Actually, yeah.
Can I add my
roll your
magic? Doesn't say I can add my magic.
Where again, it's the darkness thing.
Okay.
So roll 3d6, and if you get over 13, then you can add +2. If not, it's just 2 that they'll be healing.
Okay, so does not go over 10?
No.
Whatever it was.
13. No, so they only heal 2, but everybody.
Oh, sorry, I used that 2 for that die, that roll. So now I'm rolling for the other one. So I rolled a 2, and you said roll to see if you get over, so I just added 2 more die to that. But if you want, I can use that for both.
No, basically what happened was you rolled the 1, and then that you got 2, and then everybody was healing 2. That much we know. But then you also rolled 3d6 to determine whether or not you add your divine bonus.
Right, but I didn't do that. I just added 2 to that, 2 more die to that 2. So it was a 4 and a 1. Let's see if I still get over. 4 and 1 is 9. 2 4s and a 1 is 9. So no, I didn't get over.
No, so they only heal 2.
Good.
Yep. Damn.
All right.
But thank you.
Something is better than nothing.
And I make my way to the door.
Okay. And you manage to get through to the other side. As we go on to the abomination, you continue to tear into the flesh of this man, but the smell of fear captivates you.
And as I'm chomping on his innards and his heart, I turn towards the door and I see the leper open a beer. And I'm like, fucking hey, buddy.
Hey!
I'm still very much conscious, just sort of like, very angry. So okay. I see the divine Wolfgang move towards the door, and I notice, and I, on all fours, head towards the door as well. And I'll spend my full action to move back into the main room.
And you rush past the downed scout who's still trying to push himself off the ground.
Oh, can I do it since it's a minor and a major, can I claw him as I run by?
I thought he wasn't.
I thought he was
He's a good guy.
No, he's still there. He's still kicking.
Oh, the scout. Oh, I'll drag him in away. I'm sorry. I thought it was like. So you know what? I'll just grab him as I'm like going out like a bear, just drag him out with me and throw him into the other room. And that'll be my full action then.
I thought you were gonna put him out of his misery.
I didn't realize he was the good guy. I thought it was the bad guy. No, I'll bring him. I don't.
Can my healing then apply to him as well?
Yes.
He heals 2 points. That as well.
I'll allow that. Okay, I'll just write that down.
And I'll carry him out to the other room.
HP
Negative 18 now.
Yeah.
And I'll bring him out to the other room, and I'll slide him against the corner, and as the beast, I'll sort of stand up.
Perfect. So you can hear the roof creaking behind you as you run forward out of the room, past the 2 Fusiliers who now are out of their stupor and they see what you're doing. Now, the cutthroat is still in front of the arbalist. Arbalist is still in the room, and the leper is still in the room. So they're going to go ahead and attack 1 to 2 arborists.
Arborists.
1, 2, 3 is the arbalist, and 4, 5, 6 is the leper. We're going for the arbalist. So the
What the hell?
swings at you, arbalist, bleeding already, and
Oh,
to be. Oh, but I don't think he's going to hit you. 11 to hit. It's a miss because you've got 13 defense. I know. So the other one, same deal. He's going for the leper. The Fusilier is going for the leper. Fires at you.
Excellent.
All right, and it hits. Connects against your chest. The pellets pierce through your armor, and you take a total of 8 damage.
Jesus.
Next is the other Fusilier, who, same deal, is going for the arbalist. Arbalist, you. Ooh. You are hit. And
Nice knowing you.
what the hell?
backwards. You take 11 points of damage. Now, don't forget that your armor subtracts this damage.
Okay.
So this is only 6 points of damage, and the 8 points that the leper took is only 3.
Okay.
What?
You only took 3 damage, not 8, because of
Yeah, bitch.
Don't forget about your armor. I won't keep reminding you. If you do forget, then you write it down as 8.
Yeah, bitch.
I can't be held responsible.
Well, my
Yeah,
armor is
She
only
was touching
half,
her
actually.
face.
So now we
So-
see if the ceiling gets below a 12 this time, it collapses on whoever's inside. The ceiling rolled
What?
an 11. It
Wow.
got below a 12. So
Shit.
I mean, we haven't had a turn to leave.
you didn't have a turn.
We didn't have a chance to
You
leave.
did have the turn. You did have the chance.
It was just the last turn.
Oh, I see.
The
Okay.
ceiling was collapsing last turn as well. So let's see how much damage you do take. So it's going to be
25 plus 28.
It's going to be 3 points of damage because you're not right under the.
it? I should have fucking
Three?
3d6. What, do you guys think it should be more?
Oh,
I get
3D6.
shoved.
Oh, I thought it was 3
I thought you
points.
said 3
3D6?
points.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
3d6
What are we in, a
damage.
bouncy house?
I was gonna say 3 points of damage.
I get this
A
straight.
slap is the same.
I get shoved. I lose 8. A house collapses on me. I lose 3.
No, 3D6
Damage.
seems about
3d6
fair.
is more than fair.
Okay, so here we go, guys.
Ugh.
Wait, hold on. Before you roll it, how much health do they both have?
I have 15.
I have
Left.
18.
Can
Okay.
I blind them so they don't see
So-
it coming?
Technically,
Let's see
you
what happens.
both could be
Killed.
killed by
Yeah, let's see what happens.
Yeah.
This is definitely going to cause stress.
Oh,
Okay.
no.
Oh,
14.
14 points of damage.
You have 1 health. Didn't you say you have 15?
It's a good thing we brought a shovel.
Yeah, you have to
So we
choose
can-
what to use the shovel.
Do we dig a grave or do we unbury them? Do we dig a grave?
14 points of damage.
Describe it.
I have 1 left then. Okay.
So
What happens?
you stand around and you see the Fusiliers that have just fired at you, and the last cutthroat, as he goes to take another swing at you, he stops as the ground begins to rumble. The sand begins to shift, and you see the ceiling begin to creak, and first the wall at the other end, where it was smashed by the beast, collapses in, and then the rest of the ceiling. And you turn to run towards the door, but you aren't quite quick enough. Beams from the high ceiling begin to crash and fall, and one of them connects against the arbalist, while another one falls and cracks the leg of the leper. And you take 14 points of damage.
But
Ouch.
but I have my armor too, right? So
You do have your armor.
But I don't think that would work in this case.
I'm going to say no.
What?
Because it would just hit your armor and crush you. It's still
No,
It's something.
strong.
Armor wouldn't. Okay, hold on. Armor protects you from a blow, right? Not being crushed. Armor just adds to it.
Hold on.
Let's ask the right questions.
And we hide under our desks. We'll be okay. So.
Hold on.
Yeah, but your
David?
armor's not separate from you.
Your armor.
That's like strapping a desk to your chest and then jumping.
Hold on.
Towards the
David, are you wearing a roll cage?
Yeah, that's
Well, the way I'm seeing it, I mean, in most video games, and I'm not sure if Darkest Dungeon is one, but blunt weapons, like a big mace, is really good against heavy armor.
Yeah,
and this is kind of that case. So what I will say is we'll treat it as piercing damage, not like complete penetrating, but piercing damage, and you'll take 2 damage off of the...
So it only causes you 12 damage.
12? Okay. So I'm down to 4.
I wouldn't have been that nice. I would have said full damage, but
full damage. Hey, well, I mean, that's what we're going to rule with. You're dead. Okay, so but
Who fell on you? I mean,
as
like,
did the other 2 die though?
As the dust settles, yes, you see the 3 others that were still alive. The Cutthroat and the 2 Fusiliers have been crushed beyond their wits.
So
unfortunately, any money that would be on them would be very difficult to retrieve, but still possible if you have a shovel.
So still in beast mode, I'm gonna leap back in and start digging the 2 out from the rubble, lifting off pieces. Because I have might, so I feel like the big pieces might-wise should be pretty easy to lift off.
Perfect. And they're there.
And I grab the leper's hand. Oh. It popped off. And I help them too, and I sort of throw them in the next room. Can I try to search the rubble for the gold?
You can try, but you probably won't get as much as you would if there wasn't.
Well, that's a 10, 13 plus perception, which is 12. Unless I can smell their blood?
No, you can. You know where they are. You know where they are. But
So
just actually being able to pull off. And as this is happening, your transformation is wearing off, which it does after combat.
If I wanted to. Like this. All right, I'll turn it off. No, and slowly, yeah. And then the other thing I do look for are my clothes, and I should put them back on. The torn and sort of ripped patchwork that have happened over years. That's why they're all ripped up.
So what did you say you rolled?
15.
15. So you do manage to get back 30 coin.
Oh,
you
nice.
get the feeling that there was more in there because the satchels that you found were ripped, but that's all you can find. And you also find a strange little stone. You aren't sure what it does or what it is. Maybe a cunning roll would make you privy, but...
Well, for now, I pocket the stone secretly, but I make the gold known. And as I sort of come back out of that room to the others, I'm dressed again, and I'm sort of looking down ashamed, like, I found gold in the other room. There's 30 gold pieces here.
Now, while that was happening, the others have had a chance to do what they want. With the shovel leaning up against the door, do you guys decide to shovel your way into the next room?
It's my shovel. I was the only one that wanted it. Me. No, I'm kidding. I would have left it there.
Before we begin shoveling, I'll use my last skill point to heal 1d6 again for the group.
You're not going to use judgment on them? You should have got out of that room fast.
You should have really thought about so I'm successful with my getting a +2, and everyone heals 7 points, hit points.
Oh, thank you.
Does that include me too, even though I'm in the other room?
Yeah.
That puts me just over 10.
And it includes the scout too, so now he's at least
Same
at
here.
9 hit points.
Nice.
Okay.
At 11.
Well, I go to the scout. Tell me you saw something more than that room in there.
Brigands. There's brigands at the guild.
Thank you. Go home.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. The master's going to be so pleased with you. Oh God, thank you.
We'll be using your services again in the future.
Oh God, no. And he scampers off. Scampers powers off.
So, Kessler.
Now am I back in the other room?
Yep, you're back in.
So I walk in. I found 30 gold pieces on the bodies in the other room. I'll put it with the one I have left.
And I just stare at him.
And I'm not making eye contact.
So what now?
Now I think we should clear the rubble at the end of the hall and make our way through the guild.
Perhaps we should rest first. There's a lot on my mind, and I think the rest of the party could benefit.
Just to let you guys know, tonight at the camp, my mask is coming off. Sorry. I need to regain some health.
That's all right. I think we should press on just a bit more. And I walk towards the rubble and begin digging with the shovel.
Perfect. So it doesn't take too long. However, the shovel you were given by the provisioner is really, I guess, not the best shovel, because by the end of it, the shovel is completely worn out. The hilt of it, I guess, is busted off from the head. But you do manage to get enough use out of it to clear this one area.
We should get our money back after this. Is a terrible shovel.
That's the one difference between the game.
I know,
and...
video games, they have durability and stuff. No, that's... So the rubble's cleared, and what's on the other side? A doorway or a hallway? Or...
So it looks like... Do you open the door? There is a door.
I turn to the others before I open the door, and I say, perhaps we should press on, since this is the front hallway, and camping in the front hallway would be embarrassing should anyone come by. We made it this far!
And after seeing what he had just become and then also gone back to, I'm not really no, but I'm just not gonna say no. And
you don't want to see me when I'm angry. You want to say no to me?
and I'm also just completely broken down from my embarrassing fight. I was trying to maintain this sort of demeanor, but now it's completely gone. I'm still wiping tears from my face, and I say, "Okay, I'll follow."
Oh, by the way, so speaking of which, the roof did collapse, and I did say that you guys took damage, but you also take stress. Now, the abomination and because it's Darkest Dungeon, everybody's going to take stress for this, but the Vestal and the Abomination are only going to take 1 point of stress. The two of you that were in the room that had your life flash before your eyes, you're taking 5 points of stress.
What? So I'm at 9.
Who's taking stress? Me?
9. Yeah. Everybody. So you take 5 points there, buddy.
Alex.
Leper. And seeing that the others are sort of awkward as I'm pressing forward, I stop myself. I turn around and I say, what you saw in that last room is something I've tried to keep hidden for a long time. It's something I'm not proud of. It's not something I am by choice. It's something that happened to me, and it infects me in my blood. And I hope to understand it one day, but I want you to know that it is something that I can control. It's not something that you can trust me with. It's not something that I'm going to have you wake up in the middle of the night while I'm feasting on your bones. It's something that I am conscious of. So,
yes, we all have evil in us, but we need to keep it at bay. We can't let it out.
That's where you and I differ. And I turn around and I go head towards the door.
Stop.
Batman? Where are they heading?
Struggle. Listen, I know fear. I know pain. And I know what it is to hide who you really are. Don't be afraid. Move forward with us. We can do this together.
I'm getting conflicting signals from the party. One says keep at bay, one says fear not. I say, regardless, I think we should press on, make camp in the next area. And now I got to open the door.
So you open the door, and it's just a room that stands before you. But as soon as you open the door, a wave of cries and shouts enter the room, and it's loud and piercing, and you cover your ears as if this room is cursed of some sort. Everyone takes 2 stress.
What?
Oh my god, I'm at max stress.
Me too.
Okay, so as the voices ring through your heads, the arbalest and the leper, you feel something strange arises within you. A new piece of your personality.
Excuse
Dark.
me, thank you.
Oh, good. You're not sure. So now is the point where I'm going to turn to the list of quirks. The list of quirks from Darkest Dungeon is a big.
Is that what it's called? Quirks? That seems too positive.
Quirks. Well, no, because what we've got negative quirks, positive quirks. I'm calling
But hold
the
on.
negative ones.
Are they like called quirks for sure?
I think either way they're quirks, but I think that the bad ones are afflictions.
I didn't realize they were called quirks. That's so weird.
That's what they've got on the website here. The game media.
Animals.
This
But
quirky.
regardless, people, the master, people of the community, you guys get to decide which quirks Alex and David will take on. And now this is mostly going to have a role-playing effect, but we're going to kind of treat it like End of the World, where these quirks might play in to the game somehow. So if, for example, and can you post the list of quirks there, Harlan, while I'm explaining?
I don't have them.
There you go. So basically the way it works in End of the World is that they'll be able to have a specific quirk. Like this one, for instance, is Quick Draw. So this is a positive quirk. So you're going to say something positive comes of this. Plus,
we're only giving negative quirks, right? Just so I know what to paste.
We're only giving negative quirks. Yeah, sorry.
Right.
So we're going to do Gambler. So all of a sudden, for some reason, these people feel like the only way they can deal with their stress is to gamble at the tavern. Or we can say Slow Reflexes. So the person is just kind of dumbfounded by the amount of stress that he's dealt with, and his reaction time is slow. So make your suggestions. It doesn't have to be something that's on the list. If you think that it's something that could be fun to see, then put it on, or take something from the list that you think would be fun to see. There are a lot of great options on the list. So hopefully we'll have a good quirk for you guys before the end of the game. But for now, I want to press on to the next room, where after the cries and shouts and shrieks fade away, you're looking towards a regular bedchamber, the headmaster's bedchamber.
And I turn to the others and I say, I think maybe we should camp here for the night. But after we check the headmaster's bedchamber. And I walk towards the door and kick it open.
So there isn't anything here really except for a bed and a portrait, a beautiful portrait of what you can only imagine to be the headmaster. And though he's smiling in the picture, there's a sadness in his eyes. You also find jewelry that looks like you'd be able to fetch a pretty penny for it. Maybe 40 coin.
I take one of the necklaces and put it on.
And I stop him.
No, it's too late. Let him do it.
Damn it.
Seems like just a regular golden necklace. The portrait as well.
Except
You imagine the master will want to have, because it is a member of the village of his ancestors.
We should clear
So,
this.
do you gather everything?
Yes. Let's take everything. I think the guildmaster would appreciate it.
Or do you leave it?
I mean, realistically, this place has been abandoned for years. I think at this point it's up for grabs.
Oh, with that, you take the portrait off the wall, and you take the gold as well, the gold and jewelry, and you make your way back to Higgins and the master to relieve your load and
Higgins, I want to relieve my load in you. Right?
It's funny because Justin was before he said it, so we knew it was going to be funny.
I know. So Higgins accepts, and he gives you your wages. You are honest with the amount that you give back to him, and you
Are we?
I'm going to let you do a bluff check.
No,
But-
the money's fine. I'm still going to keep that other thing that I got, though.
So
I wouldn't give that up.
That's fine. That's fine. So 130 coins total. So you guys get 13 coins each. 13 coins will go towards the next expedition. And community, the master, you have a whopping 65 coins that throughout the week and leading up to the next game, whatever we play, like Darkest Dungeons again, I'm going to post things that you can spend your money on in the guild, because the guild is going to be the only thing that you guys have totally cleared up to this point. So you can spend your money, and then you can also spend your money possibly to clear other places as well. And again, it's 2 experience points to take over 10 of the coins, and I will let you know when you're able to do that.
Sorry, did you say 13 gold each and 13 gold for the party, or I missed that part?
13 gold each and 13 gold for your next expedition.
So that's
So if you want
2 separate.
That's 2 separate. So that's for the group. So like
Okay,
for
so
shovels
13
and
okay.
bandages and skeletons.
So I had 1 left over, so that's 14 gold for the group, right?
That's right.
And then me personally, because I already had 7 gold plus 13 is what I have now. So I have 20 gold personally, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, perfect. Excellent. Okay. Just want to make that clear.
And so yeah, and then 14 of it's for the party, right?
Yeah, 14 gold for the party, and then I have my own personal stash of 20 gold now.
20 gold because you had 7 before?
I had 7 before, and then plus 13, right? That's what you said.
Something like that. Yeah.
13. Yeah. Well, there's 13 for like individuals and 13 for the party, right?
You bought the anti-venom though, right?
And after
Either way.
I had 5 from the guy. I got something from somewhere else. I had 7 in my own hand.
I think
Okay.
if my count's right, I'm at 24 gold.
Yeah, and I'm at 20 because I spent 4 on the venom. And then the party is 14.
Okay, perfect. Okay, yeah. So we will do it like that.
Well, hold on. If that's not right,
I don't think it is. I don't think it is, but we can talk about it after the game because
The way I counted, we had 10 gold from the bandits on the road.
5 each.
5.
5 gold.
So what was the 10
5
from?
gold each.
We started with
Something
10.
else
We
we
started
got.
with 10. We started with 10.
No, we didn't start with gold. It's
No,
we
you
got it
guys
from
were
somewhere
given
else.
10. You guys were given 10 by Higgins for the group.
Right.
You were given
But
you
that
got
was
5
separate.
from the cutthroats.
Yeah. And then I got
And
another
then-
5. Oh, from the guys in the main galley, we got another 5.
That's no. So that's all included in the total gold of the entire
okay.
mission that you've already included.
Then I didn't have 7, so I would have only had 2. So 2 plus 13, so I have 15 gold. Is what you're saying.
15 gold. There we go. That's the right number. Perfect. So
All right.
I
The
need
sun-
a pulling thread.
the sun sets completely over the horizon of the Atlantic Ocean. And our 4 heroes and their mysterious master settle in for the night. Hopefully, they can get some sleep before the next venture into the darkest dungeon. And we're going to call it there.
Yay!
Yay! Beauty.
Fantastic job, Justin. Well done. Round of applause.
Thank you.
Very cool.
Ladies and gentlemen, that was Darkest Dungeon, based on the role-playing game by Red Hook Studios. A really awesome game currently on Steam. If you like this, check out more and subscribe for other videos. If you liked a lot about the game, you should check that out too on Steam. It's a very cool, very difficult game.
Who made that,
awesome.
Harlan? Who made that game?
Red Hook Studios.
Awesome. Continue.
That's the first name I said.
Hear it a second time.
Anyway, this is a very good game, Justin. A lot of cool role-playing aspects. Obviously, if you're a fan of the game, you'll notice our take was a little different. We did more of the role-playing aspect, but that's part of what makes it an RPG. So hopefully you didn't hate it too much. Thank you so much, Justin, again, for running that and putting this together. Fantastic stuff.
My pleasure.
So as with our final way to earn XP is the end game XP, which is where we reward one person who is helping us start the game. Now, I have someone in mind. Does anyone else have anyone that they want to suggest?
I would put forward Jesmar Diaz or Diaz because he had some pretty poetic posts throughout the thing, and it was kind of neat for setting the mood. He'd say things like, "The brink of reality seems to shift as the thoughts of horror before you have twisted in resolution." It's kind of neat. Little things like that throughout.
Cool.
That's
I wish I'd seen that. I wish I'd seen that while I was GMing.
Could have stolen it and pretended
Helped
it
me a
was
lot. I'm so clever.
It's hard to call because there are so many of you classic people consistently posting.
Trevor, there's a lot of good
Mark,
ideas. Well,
David,
I want to.
Jasmine.
At least in my opinion, would be to Mark Lane because he gave the when we were trying to figure out what to get. He asked it was minor, but it helped a lot. What the quartermaster would recommend when we were trying to go in the thing, which is a very clever. It's just. I appreciated it because it was something that didn't make us that we didn't think until it was idealized. But you know what? When you mention what Diaz did as well, I remember that as well. Jesmar Diaz, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. He had a lot of really cool stuff. And you know what? I think Mark might have gotten it last week. Not that that's a disqualifier, but the fact that Jesmar did a lot of cool stuff and he was the first person on your mind. Let's give it to Jesmar. Jesmar Diaz, you win Endgame XP. Hey. Well done. So thank you guys so much for hanging out. Hopefully you enjoyed this. Hopefully it wasn't too much of a departure from the Darkest Dungeon. Obviously it's a tough game to sort of relate exactly because otherwise it's just combat. That's not always fun for people. So at least for us. So thank you so much for hanging out. This has been a blast. We're going to be back here next Wednesday for another one-shot adventure, which I think I'll still keep under the wraps for now. So we're going to do another one shot next week. So come by, hang out. It's going to be a lot of fun. And this Friday night, also, I'm going to do a spooky game night stream with what game I don't know. If you want me to play a spooky game, suggest it because I need to do something.
The Darkest Dungeon.
Maybe Darkest Dungeon this sequel. Anyway, that is it for me. Does anyone else have anything else to add?
Thanks again, Justin.
Well, I just wanted to say great role playing. That was a lot of fun. Your characters very quick at setting in.
Excellent job too, Justin. Fantastic.
Yes, we definitely added a new layer of role playing to Darkest Dungeon where the characters are very just like the leper, nothing else.
You know what? It actually is really, it's way easier to remember people's names when you just remember their role. It's like, all right, leper, and it fits the scene too. So
yeah, no, I felt good. I enjoyed playing the Abomination. I hope to play him again. So. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for hanging out. You have yourself a fantastic night and a fantastic weekend. Thank you again so much for sticking around. And as Chris always likes to say,
we'll see you around the table.
See you around the table, guys. Good night.